and it's the final session number 7, the Sunday finals of the 2022 Men's Sask Winter Provincial Championships from Pan Am Pool here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's day 4, the final day of the championships. I'm going to be your play-by-play commentator like I have been all week and weekend long. Graham Forsyth, joined to my right by Bo West. One more time, Bo, we get together and get to watch these fantastic swimmers go at it.
Yeah, final session. I'm really excited for tonight. Lots of good events, and of course we're finishing up tonight with the provincial relays, which is always great fun.
You spoke about the provincial relays, what was going to be in store for those back on Friday. Give our viewers, fill them in once again what those relays will be looking like.
Yeah, so Saskatchewan will be putting together their team. Either for the younger age group, it's a 4x50 medley relay, and for the old age groups, it's a 4x100 medley relay. They'll be putting together the 4 best swimmers from all the Saskatchewan teams, Asheville, Manitoba, and they'll race head-to-head. And there's a lot of excitement that goes on in here during that. All the teams from Saskatchewan will be lined up on one side of the pool. All the Manitoba teams will be lined up on the other, and they will be going nuts.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It got loud yesterday during the medley relays. It's going to be even more crazy tonight when these provinces can get together and swim for their respective provinces. But talking about the first final coming up, we got the 12 and under A final for the girls. 50-meter butterfly. We'll also have the 12 and under final or we'll have the alternates for that if there is anyone missing. But the 13 and 14A final as well as the B final for that category, that age group, as well as the 15 and over A final. This event starting it off, it should be an interesting one.
Yeah, 50 butterfly. It's always a fun event, and we're following that up with the 50 backstroke. This is right after. Sorry, we got the para. We got a 100 butterfly and a 50 butterfly for the multi-class para in between then. And then we got the 200 freestyle, which is an event that's near and dear to my heart. I was a 200 freestyler myself, so I always love watching that. We got some real battles coming up there, especially on the men's side. 16 and over, we got Eric Dupre battling it out with Matthew Sergianis. They've had some real battles here this week, so that'll be lots of fun to watch. And after the 200, we go into the 50 backstroke, followed by the 100 breaststroke. And you're in for a real treat here tonight. The 100 breaststroke, we got Kelsey Walk representing University of Manitoba. See, Manitoba's an Olympian, represented Canada at the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo last year. So it'll be a real treat. She's been taking a little bit of a break after the Olympics, but she's back in it now, and she looked real good this morning. So we're excited to see what she can do here tonight. Just happy to see her back in the water.
I know you spoke about this yesterday, I think, talking about the 400-meter individual medley race that I think you're pretty excited for, if I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this one is just a real classic event. It's just for the toughest competitors out there. Those are the swimmers you're going to see here. There is no shortcuts in this event. You got to work on all 4 strokes. You got to work on a lot of aerobic capacity. If you got a weak stroke, if you're not a good breaststroke, or you haven't been working on it, you're going to get exposed in this event. If you haven't been working on your backstroke, you're going to get exposed, and it'll show up here. If you haven't been skipping, or you've been skipping a few morning practices, well, it's going to show up. You're going to lose out at the end. So excited to watch this. It's a real classic event. It'll be fun.
And for the girls' 50-meter butterfly event, looks like they're going to be starting on the other side of the pool instead of where they usually start. Is this something that usually happens with this event?
You know what? It seems to be flip-flopping a bit here. Sometimes in the morning they start at the other end. Honestly, I prefer them starting in the deeper end than in the shallow end here. It's deep enough to dive. It's not a concern, but it just seems to be going faster when they start in the deeper water.
And we will be listening to O Canada now.
Obviously, one of the one of the benefits of starting in the shallow end here is that we finish in the deep end, so we don't have to wait for timers to move back and forth. The timers stay where they are. That way, we're not wasting any time. It'll speed things up a little bit.
It's the 50-meter butterfly, heat 1 of the finals to start things off. The 12 and under A final, and Ellie Bodnar, she's looking to have a very strong performance here in lane number 5.
Yeah, Ellie Bodnar has had a very good meet. She's up against her competitor, her teammate, Catherine Warkinson, who won the 50 breaststroke. This will be interesting to see who's going to come out on top here.
And they're off the first heat of the night in the Sunday finals. Session number 7 here from Pan Am Pool. Starting off in first, lane number 4 in the lead in Warkentin, followed by Ellie Bodnar in lane number 5. And Ellie Bodnar, let's see if she can finish off strong here and get into first place. It will be close, I believe. Bodnar has the edge now in lane number 5, trying to edge out Warkentin for the gold, and it will be Ellie Bodnar. It is not marked yet. They were having some issues with the scoreboard to start things off in the prelims this morning, but I do believe Ellie Bodnar did take that in the 5th lane.
It was extremely close. We should see the backup timing come up on the board here shortly. Usually they will bring that up, so hopefully we'll get a confirmation on who ended up taking the provincial championship here. It was really too close to call from where we're standing.
And I guess we will be awaiting the results right now. Well, it looked like Ellie Bodnar took the gold. And now the second heat, now it's the 13 and 14A final.
Very good.
Ariana Arcaro in that 4th lane. Some good swimmers in this.
Ariana's very strong on the water. You'll see her come up last most likely. There she goes.
And right now to start things off, gaining the lead in lane number 4, it's Ariana Arcaro, and let's see if she can finish this one off. Coming down the home stretch of this 50-meter butterfly event, the 13 and 14A final. Arcaro out in front, Sadie Anderson trying to catch her. It looks like it may be Anderson now with the advantage, and Anderson will touch the wall first. Edging out Ariana Arcaro and the Saskatchewan product.
It is Sadie Anderson edging out Ariana about 36 100ths of a second. Very close. It looked like she just came on the last 10 meters or so. It looked like Ariana had it about halfway. And then Sadie took it on the last 10 meters. Very, very close race.
Into the 3rd heat now. It's the 13-14B final. And it is close to call right now. Looking like lane 7 looking good, and Bridget Sage. But it will be, oh, this is going to be a close one. Tough to tell. Lane number 6 looking good, and Noella Champagne. Can Champagne finish it off? Lane 5 looking strong as well, and Michaela Kerr, and it will be Michaela Kerr of the Manta Swim Club coming in first.
Yeah, 13-year-old Emma Gallant. No, it's a young swimmer that they're excited about over at the Manta Swim Club. She's coming in for the 3rd place in this. She's a year younger than most of them, so she's got a whole other year in this age category. So look out for her next year. A lot of excitement. Hopefully she'll be here.
Yeah, Emma Gallant will be back in this age category next year, as well as Manitoba Marlins Swim Club swimmer in Noella Champagne. And
keep an eye on lane number 2 here. That's Amy Becker. She's phenomenal underwater. She's coming up last. See if anyone can challenge Mia West here. Mia is out. with a slight lead at the 25.
And it is Mia West looking to take this one. It is going to be tough. Lane number 5 looking good as well in Abigail Tenno, but it looks like it will be Mia West who will be taking it. What does she have? Can she finish? And yes, she will. The 15-year-old. It's been sensational throughout the whole weekend.
28-17 from Mia there. Just took an extra stroke into the turn. We talked about that the other night, learning how to time your finish when you're 4 or 5 strokes away from the wall. Something Mia has to work on a little bit. Just a little bit short on that last stroke, so she had to start timing that a little bit earlier, and had she done that, she likely would have been looking at a 27-9 here instead of a 28-1.
That was the 15 and over A final. Now winner of this one, 15 and over B final. Winner will finish in 9th for this age group. And who are you liking in this heat right here, Bo?
Well, we got McLaren Burwell in lane number 4. She was the only swimmer this morning under 30 seconds, and it looks like she's taken an early lead as well. She was 29.99 this morning. It's just a lot nicer to look at on the scoreboard when you turn around in a 30.00.
McLaren Burwell looking really good right here. Looking like she will take 9th first in this heat as well, and that will go to McLaren Burwell coming in first in this heat.
Yeah, strong swim tonight. She's taken a half a second off from her swim this morning. So it's a very nice drop from morning to an afternoon session in the 50. So she should be pleased with that one. Now we're moving on to the boys, starting out with the boys 13 under an A final. And we got a couple of familiar names here.
Well, I know I've been saying this name so much and giving him so much praise, but I gotta give it to him and gotta just say it how it is. Rimso Unke-Chika has been outstanding.
He has been. He's really come onto the scene here. He was at the junior provincials and a few weeks ago here in Manitoba, and he cleaned up, and he's doing the same thing here. He's not scared of the competition from Saskatchewan or Ontario or Alberta, wherever we have here. He's every time he hits the water, he's coming out with a gold medal.
Well, he's shaking the arms out a bit, getting loose, looking around a moment ago, sizing up the competition.
Yeah. Remso going in about 3 seconds ahead of second place here. This is really going to be a battle, I think, for second and third. Real close race between second, third, and fourth place here. I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch Remso, but keep an eye on the second and third place here.
And Rimso Unke-Chika, he's out in front now. And once he's out in front, it's hard to catch him. Lane number 6 looking good as well, and Landon Kennedy. But it is going to be a tough task to catch Rimso Unke-Chika. And once again, the 13-year-old phenom with the gold medal here for his age group. 13 and under A final.
Landon Kennedy squeezing in there for the silver medals, about 8/100ths of a second ahead of Lucas Bewick from the Seals. Extremely tight race here for second and third.
And folks, just want to say something that we usually have headphones on to hear each other, me and Bo, but unfortunately our system our plug isn't working tonight, so if there are some interruptions in between me and Bo trying to talk at the same time, it is because it is loud in here in Pan Am, especially with the noise, so our apologies to that, folks. But looking at this, it's lane number 5, Obi Nguyen, looking like he's looking good for gold. It's going to be a close race down the stretch. It's looking like Nguyen in lane number 5. Nguyen, can he finish it off? And it will be Obi Nguyen with the gold in this 14-15 A final, beating out Cam Doan and Stephen Bannock.
Looked like Stephen Bannock there in lane number 4. He just lost a touch on his start, or he's underwater. I'm not sure what happened there, but he came up about half a body length behind, and it was just just too much for him to overcome that. Usually very strong butterfly on the longer events, 100 and the 200. In the 50, he just couldn't make up that difference, and he looked like he lost it off the dive.
That was a pretty talented group of a lot of talented swimmers in that heat.
A lot of speed there, yeah. Bodes well for swimming here in the prairies.
This is the 14-15 B final now.
And one swimmer broke the 30-second mark this morning. Ian Jennis in lane 4 from the Gulfins. Let's see if anyone else here are going to be able to squeeze under that barrier of 30 seconds and put a 29 up on the scoreboard.
Coming up next, after this event, we'll have the mixed 100 butterfly multi-class event. There will only be one heat for that, and also the mixed 50-meter butterfly multi-class event as well, with only one heat.
Looks like we got a no-show here in lane number 8, so they're going to pull one of these alternates in if they're around and get them a chance to swim the 50 fly B final.
And it is, yeah, like you said, like there's an absence here in lane number 8.
Yeah, these alternates are supposed to be on standby and ready to go, so it doesn't hold up the meet. Just be quick to call them off the blocks, send them up there, and off we go. But you know, if you're an alternate and you keep sitting around and it never happens, you kind of get tired of getting ready and not getting in and racing. So sometimes they just don't bother. Looks like we got an alternate coming on here. He might be in his warm-up suit still. I don't think he had time to change. So we'll see what he can do.
I didn't know that. They have warm-up suits in swimming.
Yeah, usually, you know, with some of these swimsuits, especially for the girls, they can take 20, 30 minutes to put on. They're so tight.
All right.
Quite uncomfortable. So it's not something you want to wear for hours. You can avoid it. So you put on your warm-up suit, get into your warm-up, and then get out and get changed. So you wear your racing suit for the least amount of time, because sometimes it cuts off your circulation, and it's not something you want to walk around in for 4 hours.
Well, Marco, they're calling him, and that's his first name. It's Marco Eftimov. Filling in for Isaac Louis in lane number 8. Let's see what he'll do. Let's see if he'll go all out here. And Marco last out of the water. He is falling behind just a bit right now. And looking at it, who is in first right now? It's looking good for lane number 2 as well as lane number 4. In lane 2 it is Luc St. Laurent. In lane number 4 it is Ian Jennis. And Ian Jennis looking like he will come away with first in this heat, depending on what happens here in the final touches. And it will be Ian Jennis coming away with first in the heat. 9th place in this age category, the 14-15 B final. And I think John speaks for everyone when we want this to run smoothly.
Yeah, we try to keep this moving, and we're not here again. It's still at 9 o'clock tonight, so decent amount of time in between races. It's a 16 and over A final here. Look, Josh Adams is a heavy favorite. Going into the final about a second ahead. Excellent underwater. I'm at about 14 meters.
That is Josh Adams out in front right now, the oldest in the group. He is 23 years old. Josh Adams Looking like he might take it. Braden Stacy will have something to say about that, though. Trying to finish strong. Will he be top 3? Will he be first, second, or third? And
Josh Adams.
Braden Stacy with the win for you, man.
1/100th of a second. Josh Adams, it was all in his finish. He was just too long, and he ended up gliding in. And Braden Stacy from UMan snuck in there for the win by 1/100th of a second. He's going to be kicking himself in lane 4 there. Josh Adams for that finish. Just didn't time it quite right.
As the old cliche goes, it's not over till it's over.
That's right.
And that's been the difference in some of these races, just those small little differences.
Well, you saw this exact thing happen in the 2008 Olympic final. Michael Phelps up against Mike Cavig in a 100-meter butterfly. Mike Cavig looked like he had the race down to the last couple of meters, and somehow Mike Phelps just timed that finish better, got his hand on the wall by 1/100th. They actually pulled photo underwater, the video and stuff to make sure it was legit, because it looked like Mike Cavig had it. But Michael Phelps ended up getting the win just by his fingernail, and that's how he ended up with his 8 gold medals. Historic event.
This is the final heat now, the 16 and over B final. And right now it's close to tell who is going to get first here. A very exciting race. It's looking like lane number 3 and Gavin Reimer will end up taking it in first in that 3rd lane, finishing 9th in total for this age category.
Gavin Reimer leaving no doubt on that finish. He timed that finish perfectly, and he nailed that wall at full speed. No doubt there.
And, I mean, going back to the 16 and over A final, you got to think if you're Josh Adams, you never want that to happen again. You're always going to finish strong from now on.
And you know what? Sometimes you make those mistakes, and you got 3 weeks here till trials. He'll likely be out there, right? You give you a couple of weeks here to go back to training, refocus, work on those little things. That'll make the difference at trials between maybe an 8th and a 9th place, and suddenly you're swimming in the final at night instead of in the consolation final, or maybe in the consolation final instead of be on the outside looking in. So it's a lesson learned here, and he'll go back to training and focus on what he's going to do, and maybe watch some video with his coach and to see what he can do to time that a little bit better, shave a couple of hundreds off.
Well, for this next event coming up, it's going to be put together, combined, event 49 and event 49B.
Yeah, this is a para multi-class again, so we're going to have lanes 1 to 3 that are going to be swimming the 100-meter butterfly. You're going to have lanes 5 through 8 that's just going to be swimming the 50 butterflies. So you're going to see half the field finish after the 50, and the other half of the field are going to keep going.
And as we wrap up our coverage for this whole event throughout the night, I just want to once again thank Swim Manitoba for choosing ASTV Productions for us to broadcast this event, the play-by-play we've been doing, with the camera work we've been doing, where we're hoping that we've made a strong impression, which it seems we have, and hoping to cover these events for years to come here on the network.
No, it's been great, because especially now with not knowing whether we're going to be spectators here, and probably families, considering not going. I'm not quite sure if restrictions are going to be loosened. Being able to watch it from home is just such a great benefit, and now that you've seen what we can put on here, what you guys are able to do with all the different camera angles, it's hopefully something that we'll continue to take advantage of.
And of course, for events like these, ASTV Productions, we are free to watch. And these broadcasts, they are up on our website. For these, I looked at it again. They are up on our website. So just go to astvproductions.com or amateursports.tv. You go under the broadcast tab, you scroll down, and you'll be able to find all the broadcasts that we've broadcasted here at Sask for 2022 up until this point.
And is there a delay between the broadcast and the live, or is it?
There is a bit of a delay. So what we're saying right now is going to be coming in about like 3 or 4 seconds after.
Okay, just a very, very short delay, but not much.
It really does depend with, the way our internet connection is set up, how laggy it is, the speed, all that stuff. Stuff that I don't think the viewers at home want to be bored with, but...
Yeah. No, it's interesting, because sometimes I'm watching on one device and somebody else is watching on another device and they just slightly off, but yeah, it depends on the internet connection, I'm sure. You'll see some of these para swimmers have the coaches behind the blocks with them. It's not something you usually do for able-bodied swimmers, but sometimes they need a little bit extra support, make sure they're stable on the blocks or help getting in the water, whatever it is, and they're allowed to have the coaches there with them. And it is Cosgrave, lane number 3, turning first at a 50-meter mark. Burlington Aquatic Devil Rays. This is the same club that one of the upcoming stars here in Swimming Canada for able bodies called Ella Jansen is from Burlington. She now swims for Etobicoke Swim Club under previous head coach at Manchester Swim Club, Rob Novak. But she is doing extremely well, and we're watching her coming up for trials here in a couple of weeks. But her teammate here, Cosgrave, coming in for the finish in a 1:13.41, followed by Joshua Pereira from Para Storm here in Winnipeg, a 1:15.73. Cosgrave just about a second off her time from this morning. Joshua Pereira dropping about 3.5 seconds. And Shane Germain in lane number 1, taking off about 6 seconds from this morning. Do not have the times on the scoreboard from lanes 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'll wait for the timers here to make their way down to the other end. Getting ready for the girls 200 freestyle, 12 and under A final. And we're going to be seeing Ellie Bodner battling her teammate Catherine Walkinson again in lanes number 4 and 5 from the Northwest Norwalls. Ellie Bodner has been dominating the freestyle events in this age group this year, this meet so far.
I get it mixed up. Is she the...
She's a queen of stroke.
Queen of stroker.
Yeah.
Yes. Always exciting.
You know what? It's funny. You watch the Narwhals, and all of them seem to have extremely high stroke rate. It's maybe something they're coaching out there seems to be working for them. Usually a combination of your distance per stroke and stroke rate will get you to the other end faster, but they're focusing on stroke rate, and I assume they'll be adding the distance per stroke as these swimmers grow and get stronger.
I guess you could say there's something in the water over there where they have their practices.
Ontario somewhere, yeah. Certainly in this age group, they're doing something right.
Well, Ellie Bodner has been a treat to watch this weekend. It's going to be a treat to watch her once again, as well as all the other swimmers in this heat. Event number 51, the 12 and under A final 200-meter freestyle event for the girls.
Yeah, and this field is made up entirely by Ontario and Saskatchewan swimmers, so we have some work to do here in Manitoba to keep up with these young girls from east and west of us.
And right now it is Ellie Bodnar out in front in lane number 4. Behind her in lane number 5 is Workington. And both of them being teammates racing side by side.
Ellie Bodnar turning 31.23 seconds. She went at 2:22.99 this morning. She's going for it.
And she is separating herself from the pack right now. In second place, her teammate in Catherine Workington. In third right now, it's in lane 3 of Zoe Zimonik. But through the first 100 meters of this race, it's going to be Ellie Bodnar leading it in lane number 4.
She's out in the 1:07.33, so that 50 was about a 36-second split here. If she keeps that up, she'll be breaking the 2:20 mark in the 2:19. Let's see if she can keep that up. Looks like she's slowing down just a smidgen here, going to the 1:25.
And Ellie Bodnar looks like right now she's got first place locked up, the gold medal, but we will have to see here in the last 50 meters. Right now in second, as it has been throughout the whole race, it's Workington. And interesting what the bronze will be is Burgoyce in lane number 6 trying to make a push into third, trying to overtake Zimonik in lane number 3. But
yeah, it looks like the gold and silver is firmly locked up here by the two Northwest Norwald swimmers. Could be a battle for the bronze. The Thunder Bay swimmer lane 6 is going to have to pick it up here, but looks like she'll run out of real estate.
And Ellie Bodnar, the gold, it's in her grasp. She will finish in first for this age group. Finishing in second will be Workington. And looks like third place will be going to Zoe Zimonik. She will edge out Burgoyce.
Ellie Bodnar finishing in 2:21.61, so she's paid a little bit for her early speed there. Looks like she lost a little bit on the third and fourth 50 there. She was on pace after the first 100 to go about a 2:19, but she paid a little bit for her aggressive first 50, first 100 on the back half, and that's going to come with experience. Nothing wrong with going for it. That's what you want to see in a young swimmer.
Well, Ellie Bodnar finishing the slightly better time as she did in her prelims, as she was at 2:22.99 in those prelims. We'll be going into the 13-14A final now, and Holly West looking to dominate once again here in lane 4.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I'm keeping an eye on here for Hallie going into this. She went a 2:08.82 this morning, just slightly off her best time. The trials cut for her is a 2:07.57, so she's going to see if she can sneak into that. And the Manitoba provincial record is 2:06.52. If she's having a good race, that record may be in danger here.
How does Holly and Mia feel about you, commentating on their swimming from up here, Bo?
They're pretty laser focused on what they're doing and what they need to do. They're not paying attention to their dad up here rambling about him. So that's not something that they're even crossing their mind. Right. So Hallie's out in 30.23. That's probably a little too relaxed. She's going to be looking for a 101 at 100 here in order to get in for that provincial record, 2:06.
And Holly West out in front right now, but of course more on her mind, looking for a provincial record. In second place in this heat right now, Ariel Patz.
102.12. It's still on record pace. A very good second 50 here. It looks like she's picking it up a smidgen. Way ahead of the field. There's a strong battle going on for second and third right now between Chloe Hagee and Ariel Patz in lane number 3 and 5.
And right now, Ariel Pat's out in second place. In third place right now is in lane number 3 for Chloe Hagee.
He's going to looking for a 134.15, another 32 flat split here. And if she can hang on to that, she's going to be under that provincial record of 206.52. But she's going to have to bring it home.
206.52 is what she is looking for right now is Hallie West. She has the time to do it. Will she be able to finish strong? The crowd cheering her on, telling her to go, Hallie. You got this provincial record. Potentially, you just need to finish hard. And she will get it.
206.16.
And the approval, the clap from Mr. Bo West up here. Very pleased with Hallie's performance. Ariel Pats comes in second. Chloe Hagee coming in third, getting the bronze. Anna Zhang missing out in the top 3, coming in third, or in fourth in that second lane.
That was actually an extremely well-paced race for Hallie there. I thought she was a little too conservative on the first 50, but she paced it very well, and honestly, her coach know what they're doing.
Surprising even you up here, Bo.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I thought she was going to have to be a bit more aggressive, but she knew what she was doing. It's good to see. This is a record, actually, that her sister had her eye on, but because of COVID, Mia, her older sister, didn't get to swim this event when she was in the 14 years old, and I'm pretty confident Mia would have been well under that record, but she didn't get a chance to break it. So it's good to keep it in the family, and her sister taking that down. That record belonged to former manta swimmer Oksana Chaput, who 2017 Canada Games champion, gold medal in the 100 freestyle. I think she might have won the 200 as well back in 2017 here in Winnipeg. She's no longer swimming, but she was a superstar at these events for many, many years.
Switching over to something you were talking about in that one of those heats that we saw, it was all made up of, it was the Kelly Bodnar heat, or Ellie Bodnar heat. It was all Ontario and Saskatchewan, no Manitoba there. So, you know, if you're looking, if your Manitoba teams, what are you looking at to try to get more swimmers or try to get swimmers into an event like that to be more consistent in certain events?
It's been really hard on that age group because of the lack of pool time with all the restrictions here the last couple of years, when only having, you know, X amount of swimmers allowed in the pool at one time, and the clubs tend to prioritize the older, higher level swimmers, and this 12 and under age group really kind of got the short end of the stick. So hopefully as we get back into training and get those intro programs going and get them a little bit more consistent pool time, that's going to turn around.
Mila Saltel for Manta in that second lane. She's looking really good so far here out in the opening 50. Also looking good, Abby Gignac in second in that fifth lane. In the third lane, Maddie Giardetti. She's in third, coming off the wall on the turn back.
Mila's out in 31 seconds. Very aggressive first 50. Let's see if she can keep the pace. She's got a strong kick. It's something they work a lot on at Manta in that junior performance group. A lot of kicking under head coach or assistant head coach, junior performance coach Sylvie Carrier. So let's see those legs can carry her through this 200. Still along in the lead out in the 108.42. That puts her on pace for a very, very good swim here.
And for Mila Saltel, looking good here through the first 150. Let's see if she can close it out in the last 50 here. They still need to close out this next 50 meters. These swimmers, she's in first place in that second lane. Mila Saltel from the Manta Swim Club. Lane number 6 in Nitinen Dryfelds. She is in second in lane number 6, but right now it is Mila Saltel out in front, in first for Manta. And right now it's looking like lane number 6 may have a bit of an advantage, may have a bit of a lead here, but it is going to be very close. Mirroring each other is Mila Saltel and lane number 6 from the Thunder Bay, Ontario team in Tori. And it will be Tori in lane number 6, looking like she will get the win. Mila Saltel unable to hold on to first in this heat. And a very close race down to the finish here in the 13-14B final.
Yeah, Mila paid a little bit for that aggressive first 50, but she held on and took almost 4 seconds off her best time, which is fantastic. You're going to see her sister also at the Mansa Swim Club here, Elsa Saltel, in lane 2 as well, following her right behind her in the 15 and over A final now.
What can you tell us about Jamie Puhalski in this event?
Jamie's more of a distance swimmer, so expect her maybe to be a little bit behind off the first 50 and coming back strong. She's been coming in from Thunder Bay. She's currently being billeted here, but actually with the Quinn Snively, you see her with her family. She's been staying with them and getting to train under her previous coach, who's now with Mansa, Tommaso Panizza. And she's been aggressive here, more of a distance swimmer, but she's not holding back. Laura Hodges in lane number 5 from the Marlins. I've been a big fan of watching her over the years. She's been a competitor of one of my daughters, and I really love watching her swim.
It's the 15 and over A final through the first 50 meters, going in to close off the first 100 in lane number 7. Madison Higgs right now looking good. Lane number 5 and Laura Hodges of the Manitoba Marlins looking good. Jamie Puhalski in the lane right next to her, also looking like she will be in contention near the end at this point for a top 3 finish. And like you said, Bo, a swimmer that gets better as the race goes along because she specializes in long distance. Yeah,
she swims the 1500, the 800, the 400 IM. But my money here is actually going to be on Laura Hodges in lane number 5. She's a racer. She can finish as well. She's got a slight edge, and I am curious to see if the other swimmers here are going to be able to reel her in. She's usually very, very good at getting her hand on the wall first.
Laura Hodges in lane number 5, looking to take it home now. She is in first. Jamie Puhalski with the best time coming in that 4th lane. Outside of the top 3 right now, it is Laura Hodges who is out in front right now.
So Anine van den Heever in lane number 6 is also moving up. She's now in the battle for silver here. She's making her move.
Lane number 3 as well, and Katie Dillon trying to make her move there, but it is Laura Hodges with the crowd on their feet cheering, and it will be Laura Hodges with the win. Katie Dillon getting silver. Madison Higgs in the 7th lane with 3rd. And that means Van Den Heever and Puhalski finishing outside of the top 3 for this race, not medaling.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive there for Puhalski on the first 50. Likely she paid for that. But you can't fault these kids for going for it. If you're looking for a certain time, you know you got to be out of the fast split. You just sometimes got to go for it. This time it didn't work out, but
seems like these B finals, looking at the times coming in, like Jada Dickinson has the best time, but it's pretty close. It seems like these are always close within times.
Yeah, it's very, very close. Looks like somebody lost maybe them goggles or something where yeah, there you go. Somebody's goggles fell off. Diving in for the
well, going hunting there.
Yeah.
And it was interesting yesterday. One of the funniest things I think I've seen so far, probably the funniest, was the goggles holding them in the mouth on the backstroke. I forget who exactly it was.
Yeah, it was one of the younger swimmers there decided to take him with her the whole race, and probably ill-advised. So it's the next time drop him and go fishing after. Don't worry about it during the race. They'll be there waiting for you at the bottom of the pool.
She just didn't want to lose him is all.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go, the final heat for the girls 200 meter freestyle. It's the 15 and over B final.
We got Hannah Zhang in lane number 6. And I mistakenly said yesterday that her sister was Anna Zhang from Mensa. We saw her in the 13-14A final, and they're actually not sisters. That's my mistake. I get that wrong. They are teammates, friends, but they are not sisters. So my apologies to the Zhangs, both families.
And right now, starting off in first is Jada Dickinson and Emma Sywake in lane number 1 in second off the wall. And she was someone that was mentioned back in the junior provincials.
Right. Yeah, she was going for it here, trying to get an early lead out of lane number 1. She's breathing away from the field right now, so she has a hard time seeing what is going on. But as she turns and goes on to the third 50 here, she's going to get a better view of where she stands. She's falling behind a little bit now. Looks like lane number 4, Jada Dickinson, is out first in a 106.41.
Well, Jada Dickinson in lane number 4 looking very strong right here as this race goes along into the last 100 meters. All of these swimmers are right now right behind her, trailing Erica.
Yeah, keep an eye on Erica Handragan. She is a distance specialist, and she was a superstar in the 12 and under, 13-14 age group. She took a little bit of a breather, decided to do other sports and cut back a bit of her training. But she's still swimming. We love having her around still. And she's just enjoying it now and enjoying getting in and racing and able to do a few other things in her spare time now. But she can still race. Watch for her this last 25. I remember battles that she had years ago, and she was just relentless on that last 25, that last 50. She was unstoppable. It looks like she's still got some of that deep down in her. Great race from Erica here.
And look at that, Handragan able to come through with the victory. And the standing ovation, you can't see it because we can't point the camera at it, but her teammates really happy for her.
Yeah, she's a popular teammate here at the Mensa Swim Club in Winnipeg.
The 13 and under A final coming up for the boys 200 meter freestyle. And Foster Forney, he looked really good in that as the anchor for the team he was racing for the Goldfin's team in the medley yesterday in that relay.
That's right. Yeah, he brought that home very strong. But this is shaping up to be a very, very close races. Only 7/100ths of a second separating lanes 4 and 5 in prelims this morning. Looks like Jordan Armstrong from Flatlander is swimming in Regina. He's going to want to hang on.
And apologies to Matthew Mee. I've been calling him Matthew Mai throughout this weekend. Don't think his whoever's watching him or Matthew. I guess he hasn't tuned in, but it's Matthew Mee in lane number 8. He is 6th right now in this race. Right now it is Foster Forney out in front, but gaining on him and trying to pass him in lane number 4, Ahmad Banani.
Yeah, looks like Ahmed here is picking up a little bit on the second 50. He laid back a little bit on the first 50. Trying to make a move here. So going into the halfway point.
And Foster Forney still out in front.
1:11.36 of Foster Forney. He's got about just over a second lead here over Ahmed. Ahmed's going to have to pick it up if he's in the battle for that gold medal. He's currently falling back here and is now in the battle for silver with the Flatlander somewhere in lane number 6.
Lane number 4 occupied by Ahmed Banani. In lane number 5, though, it's been Foster Forney who has been in control of this race.
Yeah, he made a real strong move here in the third 50. He took that lead that was about a second at 100 mark and turned it into a 2.5 second lead. Looks like lane 6 though. Just making a push. Jordan Armstrong from Flatlanders. He's got something left in the tank. This race might not be over.
Is Foster Forney out in front, but trying to gain distance on him is Armstrong in lane number 6. Does not look like Banani will finish any higher than third here, and it will be Foster Forney taking home the gold in this race. In second is Armstrong. And that is Jordan Armstrong. And coming in third for the bronze is Ahmed Banani.
Yeah, Foster Forney dropping 6 seconds from this morning. Jordan Armstrong dropping 12 seconds from his morning swim. Really taking everybody by surprise there out of lane number 6. So Ahmed Banani looked like he was a little bit off, but he was actually faster than he was this morning. It's just the other two swimmers looked like they were maybe taking it a little easy this morning and turning on the jets here tonight.
And is that, like, obviously you want to race your heart out if you're trying to qualify. Like, you could take it easy a bit and then it could cost you. But if a swimmer knows that they will make up the time, and if they are able to, you know, have the type of swimming performance they want, do you think that the strategy is, if they're racing again in the nighttime, to take it a bit easier in the morning?
Well, it's maybe if you're a senior level swimmer and you know where you are, but it's really not something that's advised for age group swimmers. You want to get these kids in a habit of racing their heart out in the morning, because as they progress and they get older and they get racing on a national level, international level, there's no rest in the morning.
Right.
So you got to get in the mindset and the habit of giving it your all in the morning. You're here to race anyway. I'm not a big fan of swimmers taking it easy in the morning at that age group anyway.
This is the 14-15 A final now. A lot of talented swimmers in this group right here.
Yeah, Devin Lusk had a phenomenal junior provincial championship a few weeks ago here in Winnipeg. He's trying to move himself into position. He's usually a strong finisher. Red Smith from the Goldfinch, though, is really taking control of this. On the 59.41, the only man under a minute here. That's the very first strong run 100.
And right now it is Rhett Smith out in front in lane number 4. Lane number 5, it is Harlem Lowe trying to catch up to Rhett Smith. Devin Lusk as well in lane number 3 is in the top 3 right now. But also looking at lane number 7, Jacob Bell right now, who is trying to get in that top 3.
Yeah, Jacob Bell taking a breath right in and wide out of the turn as well. Something they probably want to have a look at with his coach and try to limit that. It just slows you down a little bit. You want to carry that speed in and out of the turn.
And Rhett Smith trying to hold on. Right on his tail is Harlem Lowe. And it is Rhett Smith will be able to survive that late push, getting the gold in this event.
2:05.05 for Rhett Smith.
And that is slightly better than his prelim time.
Yeah, dropping a couple of seconds. Out very aggressive, out in 59. He's back in a 1:05. It's probably a little bit more of a split than you'd like to see between the first 100 and the second 100. But again, he was going forward. He had something in mind there. Maybe he was looking for a qualifying standard or something, and he was being very aggressive. The 14-15 B final here, and we got 5 out of these 8 swimmers who went a 2:18 this morning, so it's just shaping up to be a very, very close B final.
And it is the 14-15B final. Lingbin Lee right now out in front. So after a huge event like this, you know, what's the focus? Where does it go to for the teams? Do they have kind of a rundown of the event, how it go, you know, walking through it, you know, what these swimmers could have done better, maybe something that they did really good at? Like, what's the process after the event, the aftermath of an event like this?
It depends a little bit about what you got coming up here. I know, I mean, most swimmers will take tomorrow off. They might go out for a team dinner or something tonight and have a little bit of chat about how they performed as a team, and then they'll start looking at it more individually with their coach. And then if you have, obviously, trials coming up in 3 weeks, or if you got Westerns coming up in 6 weeks, you're only going to take a day off, and then you're going to go right back to work. For swimmers that maybe don't have Westerns or trials, they may be taking a little bit of a longer break. We got a spring break coming up here. Maybe people are lucky enough to get a week off and get away and get a lake ski trip in or something. But for the better swimmers here, the swimmers who got imminent competitions coming up, it's going to be a one-day break, and it's going to be right back to work.
And roar of an applause there. What was that announcement?
I'm not sure. That might have been the provincial record or something that they announced there. I'm not sure. I missed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard provincials in there. So.
Oh, okay. Look at Joe Sumner here in lane number 5 making his late push for the win.
That is Moaz Kassim in lane number 5. Moaz Kassim having a step now, having the edge there on Lingbin Lee, and it will be Moaz Kassim in lane number 5.
Yeah, that was Moaz Kassim. Sorry, I was mistaken lane number 5 and 6, the two Manza teammates there. Joe Sumner in lane number 6, but that was Moaz Kassim from Manza here with the late push and coming in for the win in the B final, 2:15.11. He dropped over 3 seconds from this morning. A very good evening swim.
Well, here we go.
Yeah, this is the race I've been looking forward to. These two gentlemen here in lane number 4 and lane number 5, Eric Dupre and Matthew Shortyanis, they've had some epic battles here this week. I'm curious to see what the strategy is going to be.
Well,
both of them under 2 minutes this morning, 17/100ths of a second separating them.
The battle continues here. Dupre and Sergianis. They'll be looking to finish in the top 2 here, being in lanes 4 and 5. Simon Wolkland in lane number 3 having a strong start. Lane number 8, Tanner Sanders as well. Off to a good start. But if there's one thing we know about
taking
these
this out like a champion, 26:43 in the first 50. He is just going for it. He might have looked at these two gentlemen here. He know they can finish. It's like, forget it. I'm just going to go for it. See if I can build myself a healthy lead. (55-58) for Simon in lane number 3. I expect Eric Dupre and Sergianis to start reeling him in right now.
And right now it is Simon Wolkland in the lead in lane number 3. But look at this, Sergianis catching up as well as Eric Dupre. And it is Wolkland looking for an upset here.
Simon Wolkland's advantage is down to his second here. He's paying for his early aggressive 50 there. I'm not sure if Dupre is going to be able to catch Sergianis here. He just left too big of a gap, too much to overcome here at the end.
And look at this, Sergianis looking for the win, trying to pass Dupre here in this 200-meter final, and it will be Sergianis.
157.22, 158.13 for Eric Dupre, and Simon Wolkland coming in 159.01.
Alrighty, folks, we were just figuring out our sound difficulties here. Looks like we got our headphones back on. But Bo, looking at this race, this is the 5th heat in this event, this boys 200 meter freestyle finals.
Yeah, the 16 and over B final here. Not sure exactly what happened in lane number 3 there. That was supposed to be Isaac Weeb. Looks like it's a Regina swimmer in there who took it out for a 50 split and then cruising the rest of the way.
That is Ben Stewart out in lane number 4. He is in first at this point from the Rod Swim team in Saskatchewan. That is the Regina Optimus Dolphin Swim Club that Ben Stewart swims for. He's on his way back now. Andre Usan in lane number 7 trying to make a push, but right now it's looking like Ben Stewart a bit too much for this heat. He will finish in first place and 9th place for this age group, the 16 and over B final. And it will be Ben Stewart coming in with the win. In lane number 4, Usan in second in lane number 7.
Yeah, nice swim there by Ben Stewart, taking him almost 3 seconds off his swim this morning. Just be pleased with that. But again, he ends up in lane 4 in the consolation final with his 2:02 split here tonight. Had he done that this morning, he would have been in the A final. So sometimes it's you can't take a break in the morning. You want to make sure you put yourself in a position to battle for a medal at night.
It's the girls' 50-meter backstroke now.
We're going to be starting from the other end again here. Getting the backstroke latches set up. There's a setting on these backstroke ledges. There's a number on the side of it you can pull and adjust the height of where you want that backstroke ledge to be situated in the water. And each swimmer has sort of their own preference, similar to the blocks. That tail fin there, that's adjustable. The swimmers can move it forward or backwards when they're starting from the starting block with the backstroke ledge. They can adjust the height. Some swimmers still aren't comfortable with it. The problem is a lot of these smaller pools around the country don't have access to this equipment, so these swimmers don't get to practice it. They're not comfortable trying it out for the first time at a championship meet, so they go without it. But if you do have access to it, you're able to practice using it. It's certainly a pretty good advantage. Prevent the swimmers from slipping on the wall and let them jump out of the water a little bit higher.
So obviously in a race like this where it's only one lap, you don't have to turn at all. It's about that high stroke rate, I'm assuming, in backstroke too, much like the freestyle event.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of all things in backstroke especially, that stroke rate is really king. We got a Northwest Narwhal swimmer in lane number 4. Let's see if this is going to be the same as her teammates here with the stroke rate focus.
Oh, those narwhals, they are fast. Very fast stroke rate, like Bo has been saying. It's been on display here this weekend.
Key is, of course, you still want to hold the water. You'll be looking at some of these swimmers here to make sure they're not pulling air. You watched some of the backstrokers earlier. I pointed out a lot of them having a lot of bubbles around their hands and not really holding the water. So if you are going to turn up that stroke rate, you want to make sure you have a nice clean entry. You're not pulling a lot of air down. So if you watch your hands during the pull, you'll be able to see what swimmers are holding the water.
It's lane number 4 right now in Banaski with the slight lead, slightly ahead of Jamie Rogoza. And it's looking like it will be Sophie Banaski right here in the lead in this 12 and under A final. It will be coming down to the wire between Banaski and Rogoza, and will be those two for sure, and it will be Banaski coming away with the win, Rogoza coming away with second, and Maria Weber coming away with third, coming away with the bronze. And I've noticed with like the breaststroke, there's different ways how these swimmers approach it. You know, some swimmers do different things, but for the backstroke, it seems like it's pretty textbook all around in terms of the type of stroke.
Yeah, there's not a lot of different ways that swimmers approach the 50 backstroke, especially. It's pretty universal. Keep your head back, and as you come in higher rankings, obviously everybody will be kicking out to the 15-meter mark. Look at lane 5 here, 12, 13 meters out. That gives her a nice lead. She's been working on her underwaters. It's paying off for her early in this race. Let's see if she can hang on to the lead.
Lane number 4 looking really good right now, and Alex Olfert trying to get the edge right now. It's looking like lane number 6 is looking good as well, and Chloe Hagee, but it will be lane number 4 and Alex Olfert, who looks like she will come away with the gold in this race. And yes, will be Alex Olfert coming away with the win there, winning the 13-14 A final.
And it looked like Abby Gignac from the Thunderbolts in lane number 5 was just off on her finish there. She took an extra stroke into the wall and her touchpad's kind of higher up and not level with the surface, so that might have cost her the silver medal there. Certainly still happy with getting the bronze, losing out by silver about 23 100ths of a second. I think most of that was just in her finish there.
So I gotta ask you this, obviously superstitions in so many sports and in many things in life. You know, you've been around a lot of swimmers. Of course, your wife being a swimmer, you grew up swimming in the pool. So you know what it is. You have 2 kids, I mean more than 2 kids that are swimming as well. How superstitious would you really say that swimmers truly are out there?
I think that's all over the place. I don't know if there's anything universal there. There are certain swimmers. A lot of them have their own routine, whether it's superstition or just something that makes them comfortable and getting them right in the mindset. So everybody has sort of their own thing they like to do before the blocks, whether it's a certain arm swing or something like Michael Phelps, you see, or whether it's a stretch or music on the headphones or something like that. Not sure how many of them are really superstitious, but everybody has their own little routine that they like to do for sure.
Well, this is the 15 and over A final. And in lane number 4, it will be Pangilly of UMan taking first over Mastro Mateo. And coming in third there, Amy Becker in lane number 6.
Yeah, very fast time by Georgia Pangilly. She's from the University of Manitoba. It's not a name I'm overly familiar with. She might be a university swimmer that came here from out of town. I don't remember seeing her as an age group, but she might have been coming from somewhere else to go to university here. Certainly the coach at the University of Manitoba is well known. He was on the Olympic team, Lassimo Cherney, University of Manitoba. He was part of the coaching staff at the Tokyo Olympics. Former Olympian himself. Grew up in Czechoslovakia and defected back in the 70s, got his Canadian citizenship and represented Canada in the butterfly events back in the early 80s. Alison Gauthier here in lane number 5. She's from the Brandon Bluefins. They have had a lot of bad luck out there with their pool closure and the shutdowns, and really have had nowhere to train. But she's a great swimmer. Really watch her making her move here. A little bit behind to begin with, but catching her stride. Coming in for the win, 32.14 for Gauthier from the Brandon Bluefins. Really nice touch there.
Yeah, just taking a look at some of our comments here. It has been great watching all weekend, said Chris Eo. And Swim Saskatchewan, saying what you said here, Bo. Just taking a look at one of their comments. If you want a chance at a second swim, you have to, quotation marks, show up and race in the morning /prelims. So
that's right. Yeah, I mean, I think in the 12 and under age group, it's really only an A final in most of these events here because there's limited amount of entries. So the chance for a second swim is limited. So only the very, very best can take a bit of a break in the morning. And to be honest, the very best usually don't do it. That's what makes them great. They get up and race every chance they have.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's that competitive aspect of things, right? And
Yeah, and the swimmers that are going off to trials here in 3 weeks, they take this as a training event. So there's no point in coming out here and dogging it in the morning if you're trying to get ready for trials where you're going to have to swim fast in the morning. So they're taking this as to sort of iron out all of that last little detail to get ready for trials, whether it's a start to finish, something underwater, something they're focusing on. So they're taking every chance they get to get in and race and fine-tune every little last detail.
Yeah, and if you have been a competitor before, like if you have played sports in the past and you are a true competitor, like you don't like to take days off. I mean, I didn't play the highest level of hockey growing up. I only played AA, but I never took a practice off, never took a shift off because it's just that compete was within me. It's great to see it in these swimmers as well. So much compete level out there, which has been just so exciting to see.
What's interesting to some of the best swimmers, too, is not the fact that they love to win. Every athlete loves to win. What separates some of these from the rest is that they hate to lose. It's really that, that hate to lose here is what makes them great.
Well, one kid who hasn't done much of losing is Rimso Ukechika, and he is in lane 4, ready to get set here for the 13 and under A final here in event 54.
Yeah, he's going in with a 3-second cushion from this morning. It is looking close here, though. It does look like Rimso is just catching his stride. But Lucas Bewick from the Shield did give him a little bit of a scare on the first 25.
Look at Rimso go to work in second right now, Lucas Bewick, but it will be Rimso Ukechika. Another gold medal for Rimso. Bewick coming in second in that 5th lane and he gets the silver. Addie Bailey Ross in the 3rd lane getting the bronze. Van Den Heaver finishing just outside, not just outside, but outside of the top 3 and 4th.
So we've seen a lot of Ben Lang in the backstroke events here. He's in lane number 4, 31 flat this morning. He's looking to improve on that. He's been trying to get his Western qualifying standards. He's got to go 29.29, so he was quite far off that standard this morning. It looks like he might be more of a 200 backstroker.
And look at this, lane number 5, Harlem Low looking very good right now. It is going to be close coming down the stretch here in this 14-15 A final. Who will it be? Will it be lane number 5 of Harlem Low taking it home? And it will be Harlem Low, lane number 5 of the Manitoba Marlins, edging out Manta Swim Club swimmer in Ben Lang in lane 4. Lang gets the silver, Low gets the gold. And Cooper Klein from the Manitoba Marlins also picking up a medal, getting bronze.
About 6/100ths of a second separating Ben Lang from Cooper Klein for the silver medal. Extremely close 50 backstroke here.
That was a talented
That was
lead.
exciting, yeah. It was fun to watch.
Anytime you see Devin Lusk not medal in a race like that, it's interesting.
Yeah. It is another level here, though. We watched him a lot. We watched him kind of dominate at the junior provincials, but when you get to Sask, it is a whole other level, as we've seen here, and just a notch up in the competition.
Now it's the 14-15B final in lane number 4. It is Lucas Kelln looking for that first place finish in this heat, but it will be close. Right next to him, and literally right next to him in the 5th lane, and Luc St. Laurent trying to edge him out for first. Could be someone else, and it will be Lucas Kelln edging out Luc St. Laurent. A close finish. Not only for those two, but so many racers in this. I mean, not much time separating this heat.
No, not at all. It looks like these two swimmers and going a 1-2 here. He took off another half second from this morning. So a good race here tonight.
On the board are official. Next in E4, which is the 16 and over A final. The 15-meter backstroke, Mr. Referee.
Mr. Referee, whistle us in. He does. About 4 whistles there. Another long whistle.
So we got 3 rod swimmers here. We got 2 from the University of Regina, so certainly the green well represented here in this event. Let's see if the U-Man in lane 708 can spoil the Regina party here. Or maybe tie on round lane number 2 from the Manitoba Marlins.
And the 16 and over A final. It will be close coming down here in the final meters of this race. And it will be, I think, lane number 4. Yes, Matthew Bro being able to get the win, getting gold. Finishing in second was Ed Rising in lane number 7, and in third was Sam Wagner in lane number 6. But, oh wow, those times really so close right there.
Extremely tight. 1/100th of a second between third and fourth, I thought I saw, before they pulled the times off. Not much separation.
It was even close coming in, taking a look at the prelim times.
Right.
Should we expect about the same here in this race coming up?
Yeah, we got a couple swimmers who managed to break the 30-second barrier this morning. Jaden Bullis and Matej Eric, lanes 4 and 5. Aiden Dickinson in lane number 3 was 30.00 this morning, so he's hoping to see 29 on the scoreboard when he touches.
And, oh, it is close right now. Aiden Dickinson looked like he had the advantage, but it is looking like lane number 4 of Belouz and lane number 5 of Eric. And it will be Eric Eric taking this one. Matea Eric, Jaden Belouz taking second in this heat. But Eric will finish 9th in this category, this age group.
Now we're moving up to one of the events that I've been looking forward to the most here this evening, the 100-meter breaststroke for women. Certainly get a chance to watch Kelsey Walk swim here in heat number 3 in the 15 and over A final. But before we get to that, we're going to be starting with the 12 and under A final. We're going to go watch a couple of Norwal swimmers here, going in 1-2 in lanes 4 and 5. Presented themselves really, really well here this weekend. Coming into Winnipeg.
And we got. So are the provincial relays marked on this sheet, or is it something that's just added
They are
in?
not.
Just added in
I'm
after.
not even sure if the times are official from that event. They may be. I'm not sure. But it's more of it's just a show that
Right.
they put on here at
Right.
the end, and I certainly hope they're still doing it, because it's sort of the highlight of the meet for many of these swimmers. I love it.
Well, while we have some time here to set up, get ready for the next event. And actually, hold that thought. You're ready to go. Time is reset. They started a bit too early. But it's time now for the 100-meter breaststroke. And Workington has been really good from the Narwhals.
She has been. She's been dominating these breaststroke events, and she's going in here with a 7.5-second lead from this morning, so she's going to be the heavy favorite here. Likely going to be hard to keep up with. And she's already taken a significant lead after the first 25.
And, of course, I'm no swimming analyst, insider, not an expert, but it looks like her stroke right now, very quick, but also very long.
Yeah, and that's certainly a good combination. Still doing a good job of getting her hips up and getting her head down. It's the difference between sometimes spinning your wheels and having just a good stroke rate, and it looks like she is still holding the water. Having a very good swim.
And there is Miss Workington, Catherine Workington from the Narwhals team from Ontario. She is in first, looking for that gold in this 12 and under A final for the girls 100-meter breaststroke, heat number 1. Starting things off with a bang is Workington. She has first locked up. Looking like second will be going to Sophie Vanaski. Same team as Workington. And they even are the same age. And it will be Workington coming in first. Followed by, in second for the silver, and Sophie Vanaski. And Bella George in lane number 3, picking up bronze. We are going into the 13-14A final now. We got Hallie West up here in lane number 4. Anyone else you're keeping your eye on in this event?
Well, the interesting thing here is Hallie went at 1:15 this morning. She got her trials cut, and she's a few seconds off the record. I don't think she's going to come anywhere near that record. That record actually does belong in 1:13 to Kelsey Walk, which you'll see later on. But Quinn Snively here in lane 3 has had a very, very good season for Mansa. Well, obviously, lane number 5, Isabel Magas from the Goldfinch, is going in second.
It is lane number 4, Hallie West, who is out in front. Lane number 4, in second, Isabel Magus from the Goldfin Saskatchewan team.
Don't count out the Moose Jaw swimmer here in lane number 6. She's looking very good. This first 50.
Matea Purdy is her name in lane number 6. She is in fourth, coming off of the wall, but it is Hallie West who is out in front, pushing through here, coming up in the last 25 meters of the race now.
This is anyone's race right now for the silver. It's going to be no doubt about the gold medal. That silver here is still up for grabs as we go into the last 15 meters for these 3 swimmers. I think it's going to be Isabel in lane 5. But it's going to come down to the wall.
It will be lane number 5 getting the silver in Isabel Magus. Getting third, Quinn Snively. So those middle lanes right there, proving why they were put in the middle lanes. But coming up, the 15 and over A final, we got some really good swimmers here. Mastro Mateo, Emilia Mastro Mateo in lane number 5. But like you said, Kelsey Wog, and you're lying.
This is going to be.
You're talking about how good Kelsey Wog is. A 108.55 time.
108.55. That's the number 1 time in the country. She did that this morning. She's been. This might have been her first competition since the Olympics. I'm not sure what else she's been doing, but she took a little bit of a break, well-deserved break. But coming in here and posting a morning swim that puts her number 1 in Canada right now, I mean, she's phenomenal. Such a pleasure to watch her swim.
You said Olympics.
Pardon?
You said Olympics.
Since the Olympics, yeah. Yeah, she swam in the Olympics last summer here for Canada in the 100 and 200 breaststroke.
Wow.
She went through a hell of an ordeal trying to qualify with, the delays and the other delays and no pool to train in, and exemptions here in Manitoba just took ridiculously long to get in place. But she persevered. She made it out in 32.24 here. Just going to see if she can lower her time of 108.55 from this morning. Such a strong swimmer. Just a phenomenal technique.
That is Kelsey Wog, 23 years old, in lane number 4, the Olympian.
And all you swimmers and parents watching out there, you want to record this. You want to watch this over and over again. You want to show this technique to the kids. This is how you swim breaststroke. This is textbook. Beautiful, getting her head down, her hips up. She's such a powerful swimmer, such a pleasure to watch.
Wow.
108.53, just 2 100s faster than her time this morning. Very consistent.
So that's unbelievable. She gets the gold in this, obviously, but just going back to that, just being able to compete in the Olympics at the age of 23. Obviously, we've seen younger athletes go in, but anytime you're able to go up against the best of the best in the world, that's got to be something you got to.
It's a thrill for these other swimmers being in heat, just even being next to her, right? So I know Hallie, my daughter, was up against her this morning and got smoked by about 7 or 8 seconds, but just being up next to Kelsey. And Kelsey is such a good sportsman. Hallie broke the provincial record earlier on in the 200 medley. That was Kelsey's record. One of the first persons to congratulate was Kelsey sending a text congratulating Hallie for breaking her record. She's just such a class act. Nothing but good things to say about her, and we're just so pleased that she's still back at it here after the Olympics and decided to keep going.
And right now, this is the 4th heat. This is the 15 and over B final. And right now in lane number 5, Grace Warwa. My apologies for probably butchering that name.
It's hard. This is one of the hardest things about this job is trying to figure all these names out. But we're open to feedback. We've had a couple here throughout the meet who came and corrected us, and we're all ears. The Flatlanders swimming here out of Regina, they've put their mark on a couple of these races here, and if they're not on the podium, at least they're giving us some entertainment here, really putting themselves in a position to compete for some medals and putting on a show. They've been aggressive. It's been good to watch.
And that is Warawa in lane number 5, who will end up getting second. Claire Yeo able to beat her out from the Goldfins. And that will conclude that event right there, event 55 for the girls. See the boys coming up next, and the 13 and under A final is right on tap. They're on deck now, and that is Kian Wu, who has really been good this weekend.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of separation sort of between the first, second, third place here in the younger age group, and that's pretty common for 12 and under. They start to get a lot tighter when they get older.
And lane number 8 getting himself fired up. That's Foster Forney. He's swimming on the outside here, and Forney's been impressive. Kian Wu's been impressive. I mean, so much talent. And
where is he? Where is lane 8?
Is that not him? I guess not. I am mistaken.
That was his teammate standing over there, but looked like Foster Forney was a no-show. And it didn't look like we had an alternate on deck, so the 7 swimmers will be watching here.
And off to the lead here early on, Kian Wu by just a bit over Isaac Hune. And Kian Wu from the Goldfins swimming team in Saskatchewan. Right now off to the lead to start off. In second place right now is Hune, coming off the wall in the fifth lane for UMann. He's in second. Right now, that battle for third, it's wide open at this point, but for first right now, trying to gain on Wu is Hune. But Wu keeping it up. A very strong swim from him.
Very nice technique there from both the lanes 4 and lane 5, getting their head down. Good streamline, good distance per stroke. We got a real battle here for the bronze medal.
And now it goes to Kian Wu, gets the gold. Getting the silver will be Isaac Hune. And getting bronze is Noah Cambly in that first lane. And as you can see on the board, Foster Forney with a DNS. So yeah, he did not swim in this event. Seems like that's something that happens sometimes, you know, just swimmers, even though they are here, they just don't swim in the event sometimes.
Yeah, there's supposed to be marshalling prior to the event. There's chairs set up here on deck where the officials like to have them out. So they got everybody accounted for so they know whether they got to try to pull in a last-minute alternate. But sometimes kids are busy warming down, or who knows what they're doing up in the stands, or busy hanging out with their friends, having a good time. And they just lose track of time, and that happens especially for the 12 and under age group. This heat here, I'm really looking forward to. We got a very, very close race from this morning between lane 4 and lane 5. 3/100ths of a second separating Holden Lees with Jerome Timpuk.
Well, right now Tam Doan out in front in lane number 6. It looks like Jerome Timpuk trying to pass him. And lane number 4 also looking good, and Holden Lees, like you said. Martin Haleko out here in lane number 3, a bit behind right now, but off of the wall it is Holden Lees in first, followed by Timpuk and Doan. Doan in the 6th lane, Timpuk in the 5th lane.
This is extremely tight. You got 4/100ths of a second separating the top 3 swimmers. This is anyone's race, but it does look like Jerome Timpuk is separating himself with 25 meters to go, 20 meters to go here. Jerome had a fantastic junior provincials here, but he's stepping up and he's ready to compete at a higher level. Looks like he's going to run away with the gold here. Very, very strong last 25 meters.
And there you have it.
108.78.
The gold going to Jerome Timpuk. In second is Holden Lees, and coming in third was Tam Doan. And I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but these two Manitoba swimmers, Timpuk and Doan, seem like they've been competing against each other quite a bit.
Yeah, they've gone head-to-head quite a bit, but this was an outstanding swim for Jerome here. He's well under his Western qualifying times. He was already qualified to go to Edmonton here at the end of April, but he's adding another swim to it, and he was actually very, very close to the trials cut, 108.10, so he missed out on that by just about half a second here.
It is the 16 and over A final now. Carson Beggs has been lights out in the races he swam in.
Carson Beggs just narrowly missing out on his trials cut in the 200 breaststroke early on this meet. He did get it in the 50 breaststroke, as did his teammate, Ray Kostelnik from the University of Manitoba. They both went under the cut for trials in the 50 breaststroke. And they're neck and neck here, but expect Carson Beggs to turn it on to the second 50. Ray Kostelnik is turning it off completely here, but Carson Beggs is going.
And it is Carson Beggs. So strong on this stroke, as we have seen right now. In terms of silver, it is anyone's race, but it is the clear cut winner right now to win the 16 and over A final is Carson Beggs in lane number 4. And finishing out in second, looking like it might be lane number 7, and that will be Nathan Vaughn.
That was an outstanding swim from Carson Beggs here. This morning, the trials cut for him in the 100-meter breaststroke was 1:05.49. He went 1:05.47 this morning, got under it by 2/100ths of a second. So he had really nothing to worry about here tonight, and he swam completely relaxed, completely free of pressure, and he dropped that by another half second, going to 1:04.91. Outstanding swim from Carson Beggs, and I'm really happy for him. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy, really a class act young gentleman. He swam with the St. James Seals with my daughters years ago, and what a role model he is. What a nice guy. You won't meet a nicer swimmer here on deck. If you get a chance to talk to Carson, you should take that opportunity, because he's just really an all-around good guy.
Well, if Carson looks back on this broadcast,
Yeah.
hit us up on Instagram if you have that, Carson. I know that's usually the app kids have the most. We don't have TikTok, unfortunately, but ASTV Productions is our Instagram. We're also on Facebook, folks, at ASTV Productions, as well as on Twitter at Amateur Sports TV. Those are the social medias where we post a lot of our updates of what's going on with our TV shows, when they're running, when these broadcasts come up, what we have on tap for the weekend. And yeah, it would be awesome to have Carson on one of my shows for sure.
Absolutely. He's a young student at the University of Manitoba. I think he's taking nutrition. So he's just all over every little detail here. You can see he's put on a lot of muscles the last couple of years. Really focus on his diet as well, obviously. So good to see.
Throughout the years, I've meant to ask you this. Has the diet changed for a swimmer? Obviously, it's all about preference of what a swimmer wants, what the body can handle. Certain body types can handle foods better than some other body types. But, just break that down. Have we seen an evolution in terms of the way that these swimmers, have their nutrition nowadays?
Yeah, I think that's just an ongoing, sort of an ongoing study. As much the timing as when they eat and how much, and maybe you're eating more smaller meals instead of fewer larger meals, and the timing of it, and make sure you're getting something right after or even during. You've seen some of these swimmers really have some kind of fuel with them they can take during a 2 hour. If they're swimming 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, they got some fuel, not just the water bottle or their Gatorade or whatever it is, but sometimes having banana or something to keep you going through a longer practice. And supplements are probably the biggest thing. What's going on? Make sure you know what you're putting in your body. Make sure it's not something tainted and get you in trouble. And, yeah.
What was your go-to meal when you were swimming?
There's a saying back when I was a kid, eat pasta, swim faster. So I ate a lot of pasta, a lot of carbs on that. That's still a go-to for a lot of swimmers.
Oh, pasta's delicious. If
yeah.
You like it, so. But I love
Can't
that.
go wrong.
I love that saying. I've never heard that in my life. This is news to me.
So.
So when you change it up with the type of pasta you're eating, was there that favorite pasta that stood out for you?
Oh, really, for me, any kind of pasta will work. Usually a bit of protein, throw in some lasagna or something, and I'm good to go. Sometimes, you want to make sure you're eating something you're familiar with, right? You don't want to have any surprises or any kind of spicy food or something that might throw you off.
Right.
As you're going into your main events here, but you do a little bit of carbon loading before the event, and make sure you're eating something familiar, something that's not going to upset you.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be eating any fast food before a heat.
Well, it is something you quite often will see. Like my wife was at the Olympics, and You know, you would be surprised at how busy the McDonald's in the Olympic Village is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was playing a hockey game, and it was like playing for the St. Vital Victoria's Double A team. And it was Vic's Day, so it was our day. Every single team would play, and we were the last team to play because we were the oldest group. So then we're waiting around. Go to McDonald's. The arena was hot as well. I thought I was going to have a heart attack on ice. It did not go down well, so from now on, I'd never eat fast food before another one of my events. Well, we are into the B final here, the 16 and over B final.
This looked like we had a scratch in lane 3. Alexander Vincent from the Seals was scratched out of this event. We got Juan Cafiera from Manso sliding in lane 3 instead. But it is the middle of the pool here in lane 5 and lane 4 being out first. Looks like lane 5 is maybe going for a fast split time at the 50. And now just kind of warm it down to second 50. So it's all about lane number 4 here. That's Damien Chartrand from the Moose Jaw. Kinsman Flying Fins. Strong push from lane number 1 as well. Got a bit of a scoreboard issue here. The times aren't coming up. But it was Damien in lane number 4, followed by Alvesh of the University of Regina. And lane number 1 coming in second. Got some technical difficulties here as we're getting ready for the mixed 200 IM or the 150 IM for multi-class for para swimming here coming up. Looks like we got a little bit of a delay as we get ready for that. That's going to be followed by the 400 IM for girls and then the 400 IM for boys. Of course, the 400 IM if you're following swimming. A couple of weeks ago, young Summer McIntosh from the Etobicoke Swim Club, swimming out of the High Performance Centre in Ontario. Went at 4:29, I believe it was 4:29 to 4:27, which was the third fastest time in the world. Young 15-year-old Summer McIntosh putting up an amazing swim, putting her third overall all-time in the world in that 400 AM. You might have seen her last year at the Olympics swimming the 400 freestyle, the 800 freestyle, the 200 freestyle, and the relay, the 4x200 freestyle relay for Canada. And she decided this year to put a little focus after him, and certainly something that looked like it was a good idea, putting up the third fastest time in the world. And obviously a Canadian record and a time that would have won her the Olympic gold medal last year. 15-year-old Summer McIntosh, that is the name you want to keep an eye out for as we go into trials here in a couple of weeks, and she'll be a shoe-in for the World Championship team in Japan here in June. Summer is a daughter of her mother was an Olympian, Jill Horsted, back in the 80s in the 200 butterfly. Summer herself is also a good 200 butterfly. Broke the Canadian record going to 2:05 a couple of weeks ago at a preparatory meet in Toronto. So she is very well-rounded. Got a good head on her shoulders. She was coached when she was younger by former Manchester Swim Club coach Kevin Thorburn, who passed away during COVID. Sadly, at the age of I think 65 or 66. So way early, he was built an amazing program out in Etobicoke, and really the top age group swim club in the country. Owns most of the Canadian age group relay records, and sad story out of there. But Summer persevered and moved on to work at a center with head coach Ben Chidley, and it's done very well. Continue to put up amazing swims.
And to be able to continue putting out amazing performances after all that, you've been through with something like that, I mean, you got to give all the credit to the world.
Yeah, obviously good support at home, and good support from the swimming community, and able to go to the training center and keep up her training and keep going. Certainly all the talent in the world, generational talent. That's just a swimmer you going to see for many years to come, and certainly great things in store for Canadian swimming with her leading the charge. Everybody's obviously talking about Penny Oleksiak, and rightfully so, but mark my words, we're going to be talking about Summer McIntosh for the next 10 years here, and it'll be very interesting to see what we have in store for her.
Yeah, Summer McIntosh, I mean, Penny Oleksiak. There's probably going to be some more swimmers, that could be unknowns at this point that could continue to come up the ranks. I mean, we've seen some great talent here as well.
Absolutely. I mean, especially on the female side, Canada's done so well over the last many years, and we got some very, very good young male swimmer, Joshua Liendo, coming up on the men's side. Very young freestyle and butterflyer. Keep an eye out for him coming up here. He was actually coached as an age group swimmer by Mansa head coach Tommaso Panizza out in North York Aquatic Club in Ontario, and he was breaking age group records under coach Panizza. So he's putting his mark up. He's 18 and 19 now, Joshua Liendo, and he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the sprint, fly, and freestyle events for many years to come.
And we got some tunes playing, so we are going to throw it to a commercial break here quickly, and we'll come back. So we are getting ready for the next event to start here. You're watching the 2022 Men's Sask Winter Provincial Championships, the Sunday night finals, here from Pan Am Pool.
At CM Engrave, we create more than just trophies, medals, and signs. We create time. Time for family. Time for growing your business. Time for the moments that make you, you. With more than 30 years experience for all your engraving needs. CM Engrave.
Welcome back, everyone. It looks like we got the technical difficulties sorted out here. Getting ready for the mixed 200 IM, 150 IM multi-class for para athletes.
And this is the mixed 200 meter medley event.
We're going to add one athlete in lane number 2. Lily Rich starting in the water. Lane 7 from the water as well. There we go.
And they are off here in this race. Lane number 5, who is Pereira in that lane.
Yeah, Joshua Pereira. Pereira is 23 years old, swimming now for the Para Storm Swim Club here in Winnipeg. He started his career with the St. James Seals. He's out 36-33 at the 50-meter mark, moving on to the backstroke. Had a lot of success here a few years ago at the Western Canada Games, winning multiple medals. Lane number 6 is Falsetta coming into 51.30, followed by Deal in lane number 4 by 54.13.
And it is lane number 5 right now, and Josh Pereira, who is out in front by quite a bit. Lane number 6, Falsetta, is in second. Of course, with this being mixed, we got only 2 male competitors here in Pereira and Utain Cote, as he is in lane number 7. And we got 4 female swimmers in this one.
So we got mixed genders as well as multi-class, so different classifications that these athletes or para-athletes here competing in. This is not necessarily a head-to-head race. This is all about the times that they can put up for their particular class. A very strong breaststroke here in lane number 4 from Deal. Good head position, very strong kick. We got Joshua Pereira here coming back on the freestyle.
And that is Josh Pereira on the freestyle now, lane number 5, and he's looking really good here, Bo. I mean,
yeah,
he's got a great time coming in, but
breathing every 3, coming home. Let's see if he's going to put his head down here towards the wall. Yeah, last 5 or 6 strokes coming into the finish. Putting up a 2:51.48 for Pereira, which is about 3 seconds faster than his time from earlier today.
and we got 2 events coming up next. Event 59 and Event 60. It'll be the girls and boys 400 meter individual medley to finish things off. The 4 girls heats and 3 boys heats, and we also got the provinces going up against each other later on. It's not marked on the sheet here that we have, but that should be an exciting end to the night, as we've talked about it so much already.
Yeah, it always is. Always a highlight of this meet for me. I certainly hope that they are still putting on that show here tonight.
Well, for now, we're going to have to take a look and watch these swimmers right here.
Poutine Cote finishing at the other end of lane 7 there. He did the 150.
Now words of some commands like let's go here. We gotta really push it. Finish this race off strong. And in lane number 3 it is Cathcart. And that is Morgan Cathcart.
Morgan Cathcart here in lane number 3, finishing her 200. And we got Lily Rich in lane number 2, coming into the finish as well in the 150.
And Cathcart doing slightly worse than her prelim time, finishing with a 4:52.74 instead of her prelim time, which was 4:52.60.
That's very consistent. Good swim for Lily Rich here in 5:12. Almost 40 seconds faster than her preliminary time, so she'll certainly be happy with that swim.
Well, the 12 and under A final here, not many entries in this one. Only 2 swimmers will be swimming in. Nicole Godbout and Zoe Zimonic, 2 Goldfin swimmers.
Yeah, this is a tough event. It's not something a lot of age group swimmers participate in. But when you're looking at this, if any of these 12 and under girls decided to give it a shot, they would have come home at least with a bronze medal, right? So sometimes it's worth the pain. Rack up a few points for your team and bring another medal home, assuming you can avoid getting disqualified.
And there's the announcement coming in. 15 minutes for these teams to get their provincial relay cards in, so we will be finishing off with that.
Yeah, they're giving them 15 minutes here, and these coaches may be making some last-minute changes to the relay lineup based on how swimmers performed in the 50 backstroke and the 50 breaststroke this evening. So you got 15 minutes here to tweak it before they lock it in. So only 2 swimmers, but only 1.5 seconds separating them this morning. So
yeah,
these 2 teammates from the Saskatoon Goldfins probably train together every day, know each other really well. And we'll see who's going to get the upper hand here tonight.
Here we go, lane number 5, Zoe Zimonic. Starting off here strong. Into the butterfly, of course, that is the first stroke that these swimmers do. Nicole Godbout now looks like she has a bit of an edge now on Zoe Zimonic.
Yeah, sometimes with some of these young swimmers, it's just really a matter of surviving the butterfly and not being completely worn out by the end of it, especially long course here. This can be a tough event. Cole got out in 40.76. So he's Zimonic about a second behind at 41.86.
So in saying that, trying not to wear themselves out, trying to survive this part of the race. Would you say that the butterfly, just looking at it, looks like a very tiring stroke out there?
It is. You got to pull yourself out of the water, have both arms recover above the water. If those arms start dragging forward under the water, you're going to be disqualified. So they got to come simultaneously above water recovery, and it does get tiring. Nicole here is very good technique. She's not showing any signs of slowing down. 2 hands out to the wall here. Make sure she's doing a legal turn. quite often you'll see these swimmers just to come in the backstroke. These young swimmers like to take a little bit of a breather, and then they pick up the pace again. But neither one of them seems to be really resting. Got good backstroke tempo here.
Right now, out in front, it is Nicole Godbout from the Goldfins, and it's fun because for these two, they're the same age, swimming for the same team.
Yeah, and Nicole just took a quick peek for her teammate here. I guess she's trying to get an idea how far ahead she is. I wouldn't be surprised if Zoe Simonik, I didn't look at the splits from this morning, but Zoe might be a very strong breaststroker, certainly if they had almost the exact same time this morning. You can watch for Zoe Simonik maybe in the breaststroke to make her move. Nicole Godbout probably trying to get as much of a lead as she can after the backstroke. She just took another peek here.
Well, coming into the final meters here of the first 200 meters of this race. And up next, it's the breaststroke.
And Nicole Godbout out here in 2:58.07. Let's see what that lead is. Zoe in the 3:06.59. She's got an 8-second lead going into the breaststroke here. Let's see if Zoe can close that gap.
And it is Nicole Godbout right now, very strong. Well, she has a pretty big lead as well, which also has to make her feel somewhat good. I mean, there is 150 meters left after this next turn.
There is, but it doesn't look like Zoe's closing this gap here.
No.
So it looks like Nicole is maybe even extending her lead. We'll see what the time says here, the 2:50 mark, 3:48.95. So let's see if her 8-second lead has been maintained or is shrunk or extended here.
You think?
She's now up to a 13 second lead. So Nicole having a very, very good swim. It's going to be very tough for Zoe to catch her on the freestyle leg. Looks like she's extending her lead in the breaststroke. That is a lot of time to overcome.
Well, speaking of, just talking about the times coming in, Nicole Godbout did have the better time at 6:16.31. Simonik had 6:17.84. Do you feel like we could see Godbout besting her time here in the upcoming 100 meters, the last 100 meters of this race?
Yeah, I would say so. She's got a minute and almost a minute and a half here, a minute and 26 seconds to beat her time from this morning. So I would suspect that she's going to come in stronger than that here.
And that is lane number 4, Nicole Godbout. Having a very good race here. The gold pretty much locked up. Well, I would say locked up at this point. Just too much distance for Simonik to cover and handle right now.
Yeah, Nicole was entered in a 6:30.85. She went 6:16 this morning, took 14 seconds off. She's on pace here to take off another big chunk of time, so she's having a very, very good day. Zoe was entered in a 6:20. This morning she went a 6:17, only about 3-second best time. And she might come in closer to her best time here, but a great swim by Nicole. Really no doubt here.
And that is Nicole Godbout getting a good cut on her time from this morning in the prelims.
Yeah, she went a 6:01.85. A reference for her to qualify for the Western Canadian Championships in Edmonton. The lowest age bracket there is 13, and you have to go a 5:32. So she's got another year, maybe a year and a bit here to take another 30 seconds off. Zoe Zimonik still a best time as well. 6:16.95. Nothing wrong with that. Keep shaving time off. Sometimes you take bigger chunks. Sometimes it's just a second here and there, but it all adds up.
Well, we'll have Isabel Magus coming up. She is the girl with the best time coming in from the Goldfinns team in Saskatchewan. Ariel Pats, though, not far behind her.
This is very, very close between the top five. The top five swimmers here between 5:45 and 5:49. Not much separating them.
Yeah, there is a drop-off when you talk about Bryn Curtis.
So
That 5:57.05 time.
yeah, there's a little bit of a gap here. She's going to have to, I mean, she's out very fast. She might be going out with the lead here, Bryn Curtis. She's trying to put herself in a position. But it is a 400-meter race, so sometimes you're too aggressive on the first 50. You're going to pay for it later. But she's going for it. Out in 34.95, the lead. Quinn Snively in lane number 3 is a very, very good breaststroke. You expect her to be behind, but if she can keep it close after the backstroke, watch for her to make her move on the breaststroke.
Very interesting the way that Bridget Sage is breathing there in lane number 2. Taking sometimes a breath every stroke, but then sometimes taking about 2 strokes where she's not breathing.
Yeah, it looks like her pattern here is 2 up, 1 down. And yeah, different swimmers like different breathing patterns. Seem to be working from her. That's not a bad idea. You know, in the 400-meter race, you want to make sure you get enough oxygen, but sometimes these swimmers are faster if they skip taking a breath. So she found a pattern that worked for her. Curtis Bryn still hanging in there over in lane number 7. Looking good in the backstroke.
And right now in lane number 4, it is Isabel Magus, who is out in front in second place right now. In lane number 6, Sammy Benning. Have you had a chance to watch much of Sammy Benning here this weekend?
Really, yeah. I mean, just really this weekend, we've seen that name a lot. She's had a very, very good week. And I'm not familiar with her previously. It's, like I said, we haven't really had this championship for 2.5 years. So it's nice to familiarize ourselves with them again, and we're going to be having this meet again in 4 months. Going to be in Regina here this summer. The Sask Summer Championships long course. Going to be in early to mid-July in Regina, so these swimmers will see each other again then.
And in first right now, Sammy Benning, the girl we were just talking about. Of course, Clara Gellhorn with a DNS beside her name, meaning she is not swimming in this competition.
Isabel Magus is looking very strong in the breaststroke here.
Right now in lane number 4, it is Isabel Magus with the lead. Right behind her in lane number 6, Sammy Benning. And always in this portion of the event, an opportunity for a swimmer to potentially separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, they left a lot of room to make up here for the other 4 swimmers on the two Goldfinns teammates going in 1-2 here. We are closing the gap between lane 3 and lane 5, making their move, but they have a lot of ground to make up.
Isabel Magus holding, and then a release there in the stroke. Putting that head down, going to work. Really getting some good distance between her and Sammy Benning at this point, but Sammy Benning looks like she's keeping the same distance between them both, meaning she's behind right now, but not able to really gain much ground.
Isabel Magus here, she's maintaining her lead. I don't think there's any catching her. But Quinn Snively's closing the gap quickly here on Sammy Benning. She was about 6 seconds behind at the 2:50 mark. She's closed that now to about less than 2 seconds. So let's see what happens in the freestyle, but I don't think there's anyone catching Isabel Magus in lane number 4.
Yeah, Isabel Magus putting on a show here as this race has gone along. Really has been really good throughout the whole race. And
Ariel Patch and Bridget Tsai both making a strong push in the freestyle here. This is anyone's race still for the silver medal. Ariel Patch reeling them in strong. Closing quickly.
Lane number 6, Sammy Benning, still in second, but trying to close that gap right now in lane number 5, as well as in lane number 4, even lane number 2 coming up now. It's lane number 5, Ariel Patz, lane number 3, Quinn Snively, and lane number 2, Bridget Sage, all trying to catch Sammy Benning right now. Having the best chances, Ariel Patz, the gold, no question about it. That will be going to Isabel Magus, but who gets second place here? Who will be getting the silver? Will it be Patz being able to catch Sammy Benning here? And it will be, Ariel Patz holding on by not much, but she does hold on for that silver medal.
5/100ths of a second separating two swimmers after swimming for 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and it comes down to 5/100ths of a second. Just a great race here. These two swimmers pushing each other and taking a lot of time off. Myla Masco finishing with a 6:24, just slightly off her time from this morning. I'm in 7th.
And Cassius Tapotat commenting on our live feed. I really hope you guys will be here next year. We'll be here next Man Sask. Sorry. I really hope you guys will be here for next Man Sask. You guys are amazing for taking time out of your day to do this well. If anyone wants us to broadcast, we will deliver, as that is what this business is all about. And would be happy to go to Regina to broadcast the
Absolutely, you'll likely be there anyway. This is the 15 and over A final.
Mia West, definitely the favorite coming in here, but racing with her friend Jamie Pahowski, and as well as Ava Thompson out there as well in lane number 5. Also another Manta swimmer in Petra Kosegi.
Yeah, Petra Kosegi. It's going to be a close race here, I think, for silver. Watch for Ava Thompson to make her move on the breaststroke leg. She's a trials qualifier in the breaststroke events, so she can keep it close. After the backstroke, watch for her to make her move. Strong freestyler as well, but I don't think anyone is going to be close to Mia. She's racing the clock here on the 104.25.
And Mia West with a really big lead right now over the rest of the competition. Right now in second in lane number 3, Jamie Pahowski. In lane number 2, Samantha Peace from the Laser Swim team in Saskatchewan. She's now overtaken Pahowski for that second place spot. For that 7th lane, to Helen Riffle, trying to make her move into potentially getting into the top 3. Lane number 5, Ava Thompson, looking really good as well. But it is Mia West, all Mia West so far in this race, and looking like that'll probably be what's up next for the next 200 meters as well.
Yeah, Samantha Peace here making a move. I'd say the rest of them have not been able to separate themselves enough from Ava Thompson. Ava Thompson is going to make a big push here in the breaststroke. Mia's out at 2:21.02. That gives you a 2:16 for the backstroke, which is slightly faster than this morning. Mia's using this as a bit of a warm-up event for trials coming up here in 3 weeks. She's trying to get a spot on the Pan Pacific Junior team and be competing Pan Pacs and juniors in Hawaii in August. So she's not fully rested here. She's going through hard training through this meet. Some is sort of off events, some is in distance events. She's normally not a distance swimmer. 3:04.01 at the 2:50 mark. Samantha Peace holding off Ava Thompson so far, but Ava is putting everybody else in the rearview mirror here.
Ava Thompson in lane number 5. And right now, Team Manta to our left here, Bo, shouting in support of Mia West, who's coming in to her final 100 meters. Now be interesting to see if she's able to match her time here coming up as she comes in with the time of 4:54.35.
About a 1:25 in the breaststroke. That was the second fastest this morning too. So right now she's a couple of seconds faster than her split times this morning. But Ava Thompson turning in 4:06. She's got a 3.5 second lead right now on Samantha Peace in lane number 2 from the Lasers. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to catch them.
And here we go. Mia West coming down the stretch. Support for her. Huge from her team right now as they are getting loud. A lot of Manta swimmers representing that team here in this heat. Puhowski, Thompson, and Kosegi, all Manta swimmers. And it will be Mia West. She will end up beating her time of 4:54.35.
Yeah, it took another couple of seconds off here tonight.
Coming down the stretch here, Ava Thompson.
Petra Kosegi closing the gap quickly here on Samantha Peace, but I think she's going to run out of real estate. And strong push from lane number 1 as well.
Lane number 1, good, and
Ava
that
Harlow's.
is lane number 2 and Samantha Peace.
Yeah, all of a sudden it got exciting here for the bronze medal, but there's no doubt about the silver and the gold. The close race here for the third.
So what's the updates on the team standings right now for this event?
Well, let me check for you here, Graham. Last I checked, Mansa was still on a comfortable lead in the female category, but latest update here, Saskatoon Goldfinns are leading for the men's with 2,141 points. Mansa was 1,784. So that looks like it might be out of reach for Mansa on a men's side, but Saskatoon with about a 357 point lead. On the women's side, Mansa was 1,996 versus Saskatoon with 1,418.
Wow.
So Mansa up there with close to 600 points. So overall, looks like Mansa still got about a 250 point cushion over the Goldfinns. And might not be over yet, but that's a big gap to close. So certainly they'll be happy with that. And Mansa haven't won that team title since 2015, so they'll be excited to be bringing that trophy home again. Lexi Oliver in lane 5 out in first in the butterfly. No surprise there. She got her Western cut earlier today in a 50 butterfly with a very, very good morning swim. And she's out first in 1:11.82, the fly, followed by a couple of her teammates here in Caitlin Capina and Erica Handrigan. 1:16.2 and 1:16.6.
Yeah, Lexi Oliver looking really good right now in lane number 5. And second right now is in lane number 4 of Caitlin Capina. And lane number 3 in Erica Handragon. And more Manta representation here. Olivia Sampson in the first lane from Manta. Handragon in the third lane. Erica Handragon in the third lane from Manta. Caitlin Capina in the fourth lane from Manta. And Lexi Oliver in the fifth lane from Manta.
Lexi Oliver is battling some injuries here this year. Formerly of St. James Seal, so she made a move to Manta Swim Club and starting training a lot more than she was used to, especially coming out of the COVID shutdown here, and so she had some injuries that kind of plagued her a bit. She's normally pretty good at the distance events, but has been having more speed here lately just from swimming fewer meters than she's normally used to. But Erica Handrigan in lane number 3 is traditionally a very good distance swimmer, so watch for her to close that gap.
Of course, this is the 15 and over B final, the final heat here for the girls 400 meter individual medley. Coming up, we got 3 heats for the boys. And Ben Lang coming up in lane 4 for the 14-15 A final. Matthew Sergianis, definitely a favorite to take home the 16 and over A final in heat 3. And Kian Wu coming up in the first heat of event 60 for the boys 400 meter individual medley. In lane 4 should be a favorite against the only other competitor there in Landon Kennedy. Now here's an interesting question. I could be totally wrong because obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of this, but do any of these teams go out and try to recruit some swimmers to come in? Do they try to scout some talent, or is it kind of like if the swimmers come to you, you try to coach
Yeah,
them
I mean, the whole recruiting thing is generally frowned upon. You just try to build a strong program and try to build a strong reputation. And if there's any kind of conversations going on, it's usually more among the swimmers and coaches, and management never get involved in anything like that. It's more word of mouth, and you have the results, and swimmers seeing that showing up or hear good things about a coach or in a club, and then they'll eventually make that move. It's not something that clubs do try to pillage swimmers from other teams. It's highly frowned upon.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Building that strong program, right, is so key. And for a team like Manta, obviously, the Goldfins as well, what do you think it boils down to for them to be as highly touted and so successful as they are year in, year out?
Manta just have a long history, right? And they have, first of all, they got a full-time coach. Not every club's got that commitment. And Manta's got multiple, committed staff members here, full-time coach. They got a full-time general manager, so it's just maybe a little bit more better organized and a committed coach. Bigger clubs, so they have a bigger budget, right? And then so that'll attract swimmers, and obviously you get to train out of this facility every day. That's a big plus as well. Kids aren't lugging their equipment around to different pools every other day. They can leave some of the equipment here and have one of the top facilities here in the prairies to train out of. Great swim for Lexi Oliver here.
And Lexi Oliver capturing 9th in this category, this age category, 15 and over B final goes to her. And this will be close for silver, and it is Erica Handragon just edging out.
5:26.11 for Lexi Oliver here in the consolation final. I gotta check what the girls win in heat 1. I'm not sure. if she's kind of missing out. She would have been very competitive in the A final. She's dropped a ton of time here tonight.
All right. I'm going to tell you this real nice. Athletes who are not actually swimming in the 400 IM, take your feet. Yeah, all of you over on the other side. I know you can hear me. If you're not actually swimming this event, get off the pool deck. Like I said, there's one shot of this. Either do the rules or we don't have you on deck. You can't be more clear with the rules are asking.
Wow. Who's the PA announcer again? Is it John? Is that his name? John not having it right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah, he's pretty mad about the athletes being on deck right now if they're not in the IM.
Yeah, John Woodmaker trying to have certain procedures that's set out by the governing bodies here, and they're trying to get the swimmers to follow them, but it is it's not something they're used to. They're used to being on deck and being able to cheer for the teammates, right? And Federation is still trying to keep some separation and physical distancing in place, but I think most of these swimmers are just fed up with it. A little bit like herding cats.
Yeah, there's certain things you just can't take out of the sport, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we saw it. Pretty sure it was with. I mean, I always bring up hockey because that's my favorite sport. But no, like touching each other, like celebrating after, like scoring a goal, like that's part of the game. You just can't take that out.
Yeah, that's certainly difficult, and I'll be surprised to see what's going to happen in these provincial relays, because that's usually complete mayhem here later on tonight, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep the swimmers off deck, because that's usually part of it. But we'll see. We'll see if the swimmers are able to get away with it here and get up close and personal.
Right now in this heat right here, Kian Wu coming in as the favorite, and you know I think he has a really good chance of potentially running away with this one.
Yeah, he's going in with a 17-second advantage after this morning, and he's not looking like he's slowing down at all. He's got a 6-second gap after the butterfly, looking good in the backstroke as well. So I don't think there's going to be any major doubt about the outcome here. But again, only 2 swimmers, right? I mean, somebody else decided to do this event. You could have walked away with a bronze medal and a nice stack of points for your team.
And now it's into the final 50 meters of the backstroke portion of this race. Out in front by quite a bit is Kian Wu. It's always after that turn off the wall from the swimmer that is way behind, and you think, oh, maybe he's closing the gap, maybe just a bit just by looking at it. But then once he actually turns, you realize how far away they actually are in distance from each other.
Yeah, it's a little bit deceiving sometimes depending on the angle that you're watching from. You really just got to keep a close eye on the clock. He was 6 seconds ahead after the butterfly, turning in 2:46.11 here. We'll see if Landon Kennedy is going to be... he's now 13 seconds behind. So he's expanding his lead. Kian Wu and his breaststroke also looks very strong. So it's not going to be any doubt about the outcome here.
Kian Wu really with a strong performance here. Not slowing down at all. Just keeping it up. Keeping his foot on the pedal, as the old cliche goes.
3:31.72. Split at the 250 mark.
Is Kian Wu.
Watch Kian's breaststroke here. He's getting his head down, nice and streamlined. He's finishing his kick, getting his hips up. He's got a beautiful breaststroke. Landon Kennedy not quite getting the same drive off of his kick. His breaststroke kick is sometimes just something that either you have or you don't. It requires a certain amount of flexibility in the ankles and the knees. 4:19.16. Kean, he's setting himself up for also be a best time here. 5:47 this morning. See if he can bring it home.
Just looking at some of the comments here.
Kianwu 5:00:08 at the 3:50 mark, going to the last 50. See if we can get under the 5:40 mark here. Keep the legs going. $5:22.86 for Landon Kennedy. He was a 6:04 this morning. Decent to be right around the same time for him. Kian Wu did go under the 5:40 mark, 5:38.63. That's a 9-second drop from this morning. Great swim. See if Landon Kennedy can improve on his time. He was a 6:04.11 this morning. It's going to be close. 6:01.19. Good swim for Landon as well here, taking 3 seconds off. Now we're going into the 14:15 A final for the men. 23 this morning, going in first.
Well, if we're just to bring it away from the racing for just a moment, well, this does have to do with the racing, but I think I've been hearing, the athletes listening in on the broadcast, listening to our commentary here, which is just great to see, and looks like they may be rewinding races as well. You can do that on our new media player on our website at amateursports.tv. Be sure to check that out. You can replay stuff, rewind live, which is a feature that is new here on the network.
Oh yeah, and if your athletes are listening in and we're not saying something right or mispronouncing your name, well, come on over. We're on the second level here, and
yeah, come on down.
the
We're not mean people. We're pretty easy going. Just trying to pronounce these names the best we can.
Ben Lang out first at the 50, 33.71.
I know producer Glenn Munford hates that saying, doing the best we can. So, try to avoid it. Of course, he's not here tonight. Cody Walton and as producer tonight. He's done a great job. I want to thank you all for tuning in at home throughout this whole entire weekend. It's been a blast here. I don't think I want to stand on concrete for a very long time after this, but it's hard to avoid because a lot of the world has a lot of concrete. So,
well, this building here is from 1967, and yeah, there's a lot of concrete back then. I think prices maybe were a little bit different, but yeah, it gets tough. Sitting on these wooden benches, you see a lot of parents who are used to coming out for these meet. They'll bring their own cushions or chairs or something to get comfortable. Because it does
they
turn into a long week.
They really don't give you any breaks with the seating and standing arrangements. But with like some cushions on these benches, maybe some a softer surface to stand on. But
no, you got to look after that yourself. Ben Lang with a 154.55 at the 150 mark. Ben Lang is a backstroke specialist. He's separating himself here from the pack. Very smooth.
He's the oldest swimmer in this group, 15 years old in the 14-15 A final. He's from the Manta Swim Club. All the rest of the swimmers from Saskatchewan in this heat.
Yeah, no surprise there. Usually the Regina Optimus Dolphins and the Saskatoon Goldfins have had a lot of swimmers who are comfortable on a longer distance events, as on Manta swimmers generally, whereas you will rarely ever see a University of Manitoba Bison swimmer in these type of events. They're just different clubs try to focus on different things. Sometimes it can be difficult to tailor a program to be able to do everything, right? So some programs have certain strengths and other programs have others.
Well, it's been all Ben Lang here in this race. He's into his breaststroke, of course, coming up into his last 50 meters of this stroke here soon. And for the swimmers behind him, lane number 3, Hein Bigner is in second at this point.
It's like Isaac Curry in lane number 5 is a strong breaststroke. He's making a strong push here. He's moving up. 3:33 for Isaac. He's now 2 seconds behind lane number 3, Heinbanger. And he's going to be close in that gap. Good breaststroke in lane number 6 as well. Oliver from the Goldfins.
Lane number 6 at this point, Oliver Genist, is looking good as well. He's made a good push here to move into that silver medal spot here in the 14-15 A final.
Ben Lang now turned on to the last 100. He's at 4:06 going into the freestyle.
Oh, kind of getting scary behind us here, Bo. We're hearing some more screams. Seems like these athletes trying to really get the swimmers to hear them from the stands. And taking a look at it, like Ben Lang has first locked up. He has the gold in this event, but looking at Oliver Genist in that 6th lane, he's looking really good, promising for that silver medal, depending on what happens in these last.
And Scott here in lane number 3, he fell back in the breaststroke. He was not his strongest stroke, but he's making a comeback in the freestyle, trying to catch his teammate over in lane number 6. He might run out of real estate here, making a push forward, but I think he's going to run out of water.
And
no doubt about Ben Lang here coming into the wall. 5:18:37. He takes another 5 seconds off from his morning swim.
Genist going to come away with the silver medal here. The battle for 3rd looks like it's going to go to Heinbigner in that 3rd lane, missing out on a top 3 spot. We
had a scoreboard issue here. Lane number 3 was definitely in for the 3rd place. We should see a correction on the board here shortly. Just looked like it might have been a light touch or something slightly off, and there it is. Now it's been corrected.
All right, last heat of the evening is the 16 and over 8 final of the 400 meter IM.
Mr. Referee, set the scene with your whistling. We are about to get underway for a big one here, the 16 and over A final, the final heat technically of the night before the provincial relay races. And here we go, folks. We are off the final heat of the 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships for the boys 400 meter individual medley. It's been a blast. This race is sure to be a good one. Matthew Sergianis, the favorite, coming in. Sam Chisholm, Miles McTavish in lane 3 and lane 5. We're going to see here in the first 50 meters of the race who has the lead. It is going to start off with Sam Chisholm in lane number 5, Sergianis slightly behind him by not much. All swimmers almost, well, every swimmer hitting that.
Yeah, and don't forget about Eric Dupre over in lane number 6. Strong fly back and freestyler. His breaststroke is probably his weakest stroke, so we'll see if he can put himself in a good position after the backstroke to give him enough of a gap there to maybe fall back on the breaststroke and just stay close enough that he can reel him in the freestyle.
And for Eric Dupre, he's been going toe-to-toe with Matthew Sergianis.
Let's have some real epic battles here in the freestyle events.
Are we in for another one? We're past the first 100 meters of this race. Swimmers past 125 meters now. Sergianis leading the way in that 4th lane, lane number 5. In second, there is Sam Chisholm. Eric Dupre in the top 3 right now. We'll see what he does as this race goes along. But for Sergianis, he's been a model of consistency in these long distance races.
He's got a really nice backstroke and he's pushing the pace here.
Pushing the pace, playing follow the leader. Everyone else trying to follow right now, and that is Sam Chisholm. He is in second place still. Trying to gain some distance there on Sergianis, but Sergianis keeping up his strong pace. Believe Dupre in lane 6 will still be in third off of the turn.
2:16:43. Matthew in lane number 4.
Miles McTavish in lane number 3 off of the turn. He is in third at this point. Sergianis way ahead in the breaststroke portion before it even started, and now he's just looking to separate himself even more.
Sam Chisholm here in lane number 5, also a good breaststroker. Let's see if he can close the gap. Miles McTavish in lane number 3. He's a senior in high school. Believe he's going on Swimming University at Acadia. That's out in the Maritimes in the fall. Last I heard, anyway.
Right now, Sergianis in lane number 4.
He's got about a 5-second lead over Sam Chisholm right now with 150 meters to go. And we know he's a very, very strong freestyler. So that's going to be tough to close that gap.
And Eric Dupre here, unfamiliar sight, out of the top 3, not even in the top 4 right now, but look for him to finish strong here, you'd have to think. Right now in lane number 5, it is still Sam Chisholm, who is in second. In third right now. It is close between...
he was able to bring that gap down to 4 seconds. But up against this freestyler here, it's not going to happen. This is going to be a battle for the bronze here. Let's see if Eric Dupre can move himself up in a position to get a bronze medal. Miles McTavish is not a bad freestyler, though, and neither is Ben Stewart in lane number 2. So he might have left himself a little too big of a gap to make up here for Eric Dupre, but there's going to be no doubt about the gold medal here, or silver for that matter.
And here goes Matthew Sergianis. He's going down the stretch, the gold medal. You can almost taste it. I mean, almost there. Lane number 5 of Sam Chisholm looking to get silver, trying to make it into the top 4 at this point is Dupre, but he won't have enough. It's going to be tight for the bronze between Miles McTavish and Ben Stewart, and it will be Miles McTavish slightly edging him out for bronze. Congratulations to those top 3 on a fantastic swim, but it was Matthew Sergianis once again who was the story.
Yeah, Miles McTavish just out-touching Ben Stewart here by about 23 100ths of a second. Great battle right till the end. They pushed each other to lower their times from this morning by 3 to 5 seconds respectively. Great way to finish up the individual events.
Well, we got a treat in store still.
And you see them lining up here now. Good luck to the referees to try to kick these swimmers off the deck. That's not going to happen.
And let's get a shot there of just what the sidelines is looking like. And it is definitely the most crowded we've seen it this weekend.
Yeah, referees, these red shirts don't like the swimmers on deck, but they're telling them where to stick it. We're going to be here, and we're going to be loud. We're not moving. We got the Saskatchewan, we got the Goldfinch on the other side, the Lasers. Usually what's going to happen is the Saskatchewan's going to line up at the far side. We got the Manson Marlins. Manitoba clubs lining up on the near side here. You're going to see these relay swimmers come down the side of the pool. And they're going to get them fired up. And there's nothing really at stake here other than bragging rights. The team scores are going to be all tallied up. This is strictly about sticking it to your neighbor province.
Yeah, it's all about bragging rights here. It's something that is so fun about sports, is having those bragging rights. It's just something about winning, but like you said, and like I've heard so many times, and I agree with this, the athletes just hate to lose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
if you do compete at as high as a level as this, and we've seen so many fantastic swimmers here, so take us through what's going to happen here, Bo. Obviously, provinces, it's not for anything, it's just for bragging rights. It's a fun race going on, but are we going to see more than one race here? Is it
you are. You're going to see a men's and a women's relay in each age group. So there's going to be the 12 and under, the 13, 14, and the 15 over for women. There's going to be the 13 and under, the 14, 15, and the 16 over for men. So you're going to see 6 different relays here, 6 different races, and then you usually tally up the scores between Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And see who comes out ahead. And sometimes it's a tie. It's a 3-3. It might be a 4-2. And generally, I would say historically Manitoba has been very strong on the women's side. Saskatchewan has been strong on the men's side. So it's see who can spoil the party here for the neighbor province. And then you're going to see maybe an Ontario team, maybe an Alberta team, if they have enough swimmers out here. A lot of prestige for these swimmers getting picked to be on the provincial team as well. You see a lot of these swimmers specifically request from their coaches to swim the 50 back or the 50 breast or something that can put them in position to get picked for this team because they love being on it. It's just a ton of fun. And you can see the Saskatchewan team lining up on the far team in the green caps. See the Manitoba team in black and gold on a close side here.
Well, folks,
we're going to start with the 12 and under. Looks like Ontario has a team as well. Yeah. Team Toba in lane number 4, Saskatchewan lane 5, and Ontario is going to throw a team in there in lane number 6.
Well, Team Manitoba, like you said, lane 4, lane number 5, Team Saskatchewan, lane number 6 is Team Ontario. And just to change a bit of the subject, but relating it to swimming, I got a segment that I do on one of my shows, Rise and Shine Manitoba. Airs 10 a.m. every Wednesday morning here on the network, and I have an opinionated segment called Graham's Opinion, and want to include some more stories into it. I think I'm going to talk about my time broadcasting swimming, how fun it's been, how I've enjoyed this experience. So tune into that on the network coming up on Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to tune in. Anything you can do to drum up some excitement here. And here we go.
And look at this. This is something that we have not seen this weekend at all. And we haven't seen this for 2 years in this Sask Provincial Championships. This is going to be a lot of fun here, Bo. Can't wait 100%. For this one.
All 4 swimmers like to run in, but ironically 2 of the swimmers have to go back to the other end because it is a 4x50 medley relay. But they still like to do the intro. get the crowd going here. Usually when the older boys come by later, there's going to be a lot of backslapping and get them fired up.
Well, everyone outside of the pool, on pool level, is on their feet. We're on our feet up here. Some people on their feet other than us, standing up to watch this event as it will unfold.
This is a 4x50 medley for the younger age group. It's going to turn into a 4x100 for the older age groups.
So we're going to get a change a bit in the distance as it goes on.
Yeah.
Well, an event that was not on the sheet of the schedule, but added in. A tradition here, apparently.
Yeah, this has been a long-standing tradition. As long as I've been around these Sask championships, this has been staple.
And here we go. The athletes, a huge round of applause for the competitors, the swimmers that will be going up, representing their provinces. These swimmers are it's Team Toba in lane 4, Team Sask in lane 5, Team Ontario in lane 6 in this 4x50 meter medley relay.
Got everybody's arms up here. We're going to get the whoosh at the start.
There it is, the whoosh. Some good fun there. We're starting off. It's lane number 5 of Sierra, or lane number 6 of Sierra Bourgois, who is out in front right now for Team Ontario. Gaining distance on her, Jasmine Rogoza gaining the lead behind the rest of the swimmers. Behind the two that are in the top 2 is Sophie Marshall. It will be Team Saskatchewan who will start off with the early advantage here. Into the water now.
Saskatchewan to 35.52. Toba 38.88. We've got about a 3.3 second gap here.
And indeed it is getting loud. It's Bella George for Team Saskatchewan out in front right now, but gaining on her is Workington, and she has been phenomenal tonight. Workington trying to give Ontario as much of an advantage as they can. Team Sask has looked really good. Team Toba struggling in this particular relay right now.
And Manitoba's got some ground to make up here. Saskatchewan at 1:14.07. Toba coming in at 1:20.19. We now got a 6-second gap. This is going to be a lot of ground to make up.
And they're really going now. Look at that. Ellie Bodnar, the queen of stroke rate, really going at it. Really looking good, as fast as ever, even in the butterfly. And it is in second place right now. Nicole Godbout for Team Sask, as she is the swimmer in the pool right now. And for Team Ontario, with a good advantage going into the final 50 meters of this race. Team Toba not going to be able to catch Team Sask or Team Ontario. Team Sask not even sure if they'll be able to catch Team Ontario at this point. Sophie Vanaski trying to bring it home. Nicole Godbout out of the water for Team Sask. They have not updated that yet, but Vanaski looking like she will bring it home. I believe that might be Godbout in the pool. I'm not too sure, but Team Ontario will take this one home. Vanaski will be rewarded.
Saskatchewan, they don't care. This is all about beating Team Manitoba. Ontario is an afterthought here. This is all about the Prairie Provinces.
Right.
And it looks like the Saskatchewan is going to draw first blood here. Now we've got to move into the 13 and under boys to see if Manitoba can pull this back to even, or whether Saskatchewan is going to take a commanding lead here after the first 2 out of 6 relays.
Well, here we go. It's only Team Toba and Team Sask will be in the pool, and we're in some Eye of the Tiger here right now. It's always a good pump-up song.
Here we go.
Well, we're getting set now for the first boys competition for this 4x50 meter medley.
And it looks like we do not have an Ontario team here. Strictly Team Toba and Team Saskatchewan.
And this is what age group right here? 13?
This is the 13 and under boys.
So we saw the 13 and under girls to start off.
12 and under girls.
12 and under girls,
Yeah.
right.
And then 13 and under boys. The boys' age group is 1 year older. It's like
Right.
girls develop a little bit earlier.
Right.
And so they stagger them by 1 year.
Well, here we go, Team Toba. Looking for a win here is Team Manitoba to get one back on Team Sask, even though Sask didn't win that last race. They bested Manitoba.
Saskatchewan has been really, really strong this meet at the younger boys' age group, so this is going to be a tall task for Team Manitoba. We do have Rimso here, who's going to be the ace for the butterfly, but
Well, Della Thauer is out in front right now in lane, or is actually trailing. It is Lucas Buick for Team Toba who is out in front for them, starting off strong. We'll have to see what happens. Della Thauer trying to make up some distance. Team Manitoba.
33.55 for Team Manitoba.
Second.
37.51. We got a 4-second lead here after the backstroke. Here we go.
Second swimmers into the pool now for both teams. Isaac Hune for Team Manitoba. Dev Sujith for Team Saskatchewan in lane number 5, trailing behind. And Team Manitoba potentially making a statement here in this race. And there he is lining up. He gets set for Team Manitoba. Rimso Unkechika.
He's going in with a lead. There's no way he's going to relinquish that. He's going to build on this lead, and he's going to give Manitoba a huge lead going into the final freestyle leg here.
And look at him really powering through this butterfly as Rimso Unkechika has been really strong, not only in the junior provincials that we saw back in February, but in this Men's Sask Provincial Championships, giving his team such a huge advantage over Team Sask, who for them, Landon Kennedy is in the pool right now. Team Manitoba coming up on their final 50 meters here.
41.09.
And here we go, Team Manitoba. It's
Gave him a 9-second lead.
Addie Bailey Ross for Team Sask, the swimmer in their 5th lane right now, the lane they're swimming in. Kian Wu, he's good, but no one can be this good to be able to make up this deficit. And Bailey Ross taking it home for Team Manitoba. Kian Wu still in the pool, finishing off this race.
That brings us back to tied at 1, and we got some trash talk going on here now. And that now brings us to the 13, 14-year-old girls now.
Team Toba, Team Sask in that last heat went at it. So what should we be expecting to see here in this one?
I'm not sure. We got a Saskatchewan girl wearing a tutu here. Hopefully she takes that off before the race, but you never know with these Saskatchewan people. They're known to be a little crazy.
Just like our producers from Saskatchewan. Not Cody Wall, but Glenn Munford. But here we go. It's back to the girls now.
Here the back slapping is starting.
Can you imagine if this girl wears that tutu into the pool? That'll be very interesting.
She will be lynched by her teammates without a doubt. This is now the 4x100 medley relay. So they're all going to be starting to our left. 100 meters each. Back breast fly free. Not sure the order here. Quick huddle for Team Manitoba. A pump getting the crowd fired up. So I've got Michaela Arpello in the backstroke for Team Manitoba. St. James Shields product.
And here we go, Team Toba against Team Sask once again. About evened up in the bragging rights right here for both these teams. Team Toba winning the event outright last time against Saskatchewan. The first heat. And here we go. And they're off the whoosh, and they're going.
Good underwater work here, Michaela.
It's Isabel Magus right now in front by just a bit on Michaela Arpello. And this is very close. There won't be much separation here through the first 50 meters for these swimmers. And tough to tell who will have the advantage, but it is looking like
these are neck and neck, these two swimmers.
Neck and neck coming on the way back now into the turn.
Michaela with a slight lead of 14/100ths of a second.
Slightly in front is Arpello. Magus looking really strong here in her last 50 meters of this race for herself. The leadoff swimmer for Team Sask. Michaela Arpello for Team Toba trying to keep up. But it's looking like Magus is going to build Sask a little bit of a lead here moving into the
This is really
portion.
Close here. Going into the breaststroke. 1:10.57 for Isabel Magus, 1:12.17 for Michaela. And here comes the breaststroke.
And in the breaststroke now, Team Manitoba really gaining ground. It's Hallie West.
Yeah.
Good shift.
Hallie West getting her cut here this week for swimming at trials as a 13-year-old. She's going to try to give Team Manitoba a lead.
Could tip the scales here for Team Manitoba with Hallie West, with how dominant she's been. Matea Purdy in the pool right now for Team Sask.
I'll give Manitoba about a 2-second lead here. Starting out about 2 seconds behind.
And that is Hallie West taking care of business like she has been all weekend long in front of Matea Purdy. And going into the last 25, way past the last 25 meters of this portion of the race. Hallie West continuing to grow the lead for Team Manitoba. And are we now going into the butterfly, correct?
That's right. Got a fly here.
Here we go.
2:24.12.
And
that is a 1:12. I think that was a 1:12 split. That's incredibly fast for Hallie.
Hallie West doing what she can to give Team Manitoba an advantage here to win this one again over Team Saskatchewan. Ariana Arcaro in the pool for Team Manitoba. Sadie Anderson in the pool now for Team Saskatchewan, but Ariana Arcaro, she's been really good when she's been in the pool. Really good once again so far in this race.
They're closing the gap here, though, Saskatchewan. This is not over yet. 2:55.47. Saskatchewan is now narrowing that gap to about 6 seconds here.
Sadie Anderson, lane number 5, trying to close that gap. Can Ariana Arcaro finish here off strong, going into her last 25 meters now. Sadie Anderson approaching her last 25 meters here, coming up shortly.
Jeez.
And it will be the 100 meters left to go, the freestyle coming up. And Team Manitoba out in front still. It's Arcaro trying to finish this strong. Sadie Anderson doing everything she can right now to get Team Sask within striking distance.
I think that clock is slightly off. This is going to be extremely close here. Can Team Toba hold her off?
As they have been, the crowd on their feet throughout this entire portion of the
This is going to come right down to the wire.
Men's Sask Winter Provincial Championships. It is Bridget Sage in the pool for Team Manitoba right now. Chloe Hagee in the pool for Team Saskatchewan. Oh, it's closer than ever now in this race. Coming down the stretch. Will it be Bridget Sage in lane number 4, Chloe Hagee for Team Sask in lane number 5. Chloe Hagee closing the gap right now on Bridget Sage. Oh, this is going to be a close run coming into the last 25 meters of this race now. The crowd absolutely electric poolside. It's looking like Bridget Savage having a good chance to close this out, but Chloe Hagee not going to let her off easy. Chloe Hagee now going into the lead here in the last meters of this race, and Team Saskatchewan able to pull it out.
Half a second. Incredibly close here.
And what a race we saw, but
Came right down to the wire.
I think really it was Sadie Anderson who really gave Sask a chance, because Hallie West put Manitoba way out in front.
Yeah, it takes 4 swimmers, and here we go. It's now the 14-15 boys. Saskatchewan is now up 2-1.
Gotta love that U2 in the background. Not sure if the crowd, if anyone at home can hear that.
Yeah, it's nice to hear some tunes finally.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted. Well, we shall see. And we shall see who wins this one. Team Toba in lane 4, Team Sask in lane number 5.
This is interesting from a couple of standpoints here. Ben Lang from Team Manitoba is starting off in the backstroke, and he famously missed the 100 back cut for Westerns by 4 100s earlier this meet, so he's getting a second crack at it here.
Extra motivation for Ben Lang here in the pool. They're off, and the whoosh, and here we go. Ben Lang in lane number 4 for Team Manitoba. Scott Heinbigner for Team Sask, and right now it is Ben Lang out in front by just a bit over Heinbigner. Scott Heinbigner from Team Sask starting this off for them. Ben Lang, really good backstroke, as has been mentioned. Might be swimming for a bit more than provincial bragging rights.
1.37. That's a very strong first 50 for Ben Lang here. He built about a 1.2 second lead over Saskatchewan. He's looking for a 1:04.12 for his own personal targets, and he's looking to give Team Manitoba a lead here.
Ben Lang, so far, looking really good for Team Manitoba. Going into his last meters here in the first 100 meters of this race, this 4x100 meter medley.
Oh, just missed it. 1:04.60 for Ben Lang. Looks like we got Jerome Timpuk here, the winner of the 100 meter breaststroke for this age group in the water for Team Manitoba. He's going to try to build on this lead.
Holden Lee is in the pool for Team Sask at this point.
You saw Jerome Timpuk in the 100 meter breaststroke individually. He really took off, but the last 15 meters. So it'll be interesting to see here if Holden Lees is going to be closing that gap and whether he can keep that up going into the last 15 here, where we know Jerome is going to be very strong.
And Jerome Timpuk coming up on his last 25 meters very soon here in the pool. Holden Lees for Team Sask. It's looking like it will be Jerome Timpuk that will be keeping the lead here for Team Manitoba. Going into the final 200 meters of this race now, coming up shortly. Going into the butterfly portion of it. And Team Manitoba into the pool. A new swimmer goes.
Stephen Banning now got about a 4.5 second lead going into the butterfly.
Stephen Bannock has been phenomenal. Been very good at that. Rhett Smith has been very good as well, especially as this weekend has gone along. And
Stephen Banning is a very good 200 butterflyer as well. Expect him to finish strong here in the second part of his 100 fly on a relay.
Only up just about 4 seconds.
Still got about a 4 second lead.
The question is, Can Rhett Smith close the gap? Can Team Manitoba hold on and finish strong in the last 100 meters here? Look at Stephen Bannock go.
Stephen
Powerful.
Bannock is strong as this race is going on. He's a 200 butterflyer. There's not going to be any close in the gap on a guy like that going to the last 15 meters.
And giving Manitoba a good chance to take it home. It depends on the freestyle, though.
3:16:33. Let's see what kind of gap we have here.
About 6 seconds. And here we go. Martin Aleko for Team Manitoba looking to finish it off here in these last 100 meters. Obi Nguyen for Team Saskatchewan looking to try to close the gap, but it will be so tough. Martin Aleko now into the last 50 meters of the race for the team. Now it will be.
He has maintained his 6-second lead. On the first 50, there's no catching Team Manitoba here. We're going to be looking at a 2-2 tie going into the senior swimmers. Going to come right down to the wire.
Shaping up to be a very entertaining end to a very entertaining weekend here at the 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships. And there it is, Martin Aleko finishing it off and tying things up here for Team Manitoba and Team Sask.
And I really got to eat my words. Like I said, historically, Manitoba's been really good on the women's side, and Saskatchewan's been really strong on the men's side. Well, the table is totally flipped on me here. It looks like I'm just thinking about how it was 3 years ago. It looks like something has changed in the last couple of years here.
Yeah,
so
we're in 2022 now. Yeah. Things have changed. The times change over time. And what will we see here in these last two races? Well, stay tuned to find out, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be awesome. Second last heat of the Sask Winter Provincial Championships coming up. And do you know if these teams get to choose the music they come out to?
I don't know. That's a good question. Certain meets say, well, let somebody from the final pick their favorite music. Maybe if you're going in first or something, you get to pick the walkout music you're coming out to. And I'm not sure who the DJ is here tonight, but they're doing a good job.
Is that Mia West lining up for Team Manitoba?
It is. Yeah, we've got Mia West here in lane number 4.
Not sure who it is for Team Sask, but Mia West. She's been phenomenal.
Mia didn't swim the 100 freestyle or the 100 butterfly, really the 100 breaststroke either individually, so putting her on the backstroke.
Awaiting the whoosh. Taking the mark. And here we go. And it is Mia West up against Shea Guest here in the first 100 meters of the 4x100 meter medley. And it is Mia West out in front of Shea Guest right now. Mia West in lane number 4. You can see there she is in the lead. Shea Guest trying to keep up with Mia. But it is Mia West.
From Mia, she's opened up a 1.6 second lead here in the first 50. See if she can build on that on the second 50. So we got Ava Thompson here, the Mansa swimmer. Trials qualifier in the breaststroke event.
And this has to be a strong age group for the girls for Team Manitoba here.
Traditionally, yes. But clearly my theory is out the window, so I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about anymore, but all bets are off. Yeah, in the 104.42, that's actually a very good time for her. So she got pumped for this. Shea gets a 109.13, so it looks like Mansa's open, or it's not Mansa. Manitoba has opened up a 4.5 second lead here. Saskatchewan trying to close the gap.
Ava Thompson in the pool for Team Manitoba here over Abby Gebhardt. And for Ava Thompson,
traditionally a 200 breaststroker, so watch for her to have a very good second 50 here. Not necessarily known for her drop dead speed. 139.86 at the halfway point. She's got about a 3.5 second lead now. Saskatchewan is slowly closing the gap.
Well, Ava Thompson keeping the lead here for Team Manitoba, but as you said, Team Sask closing the gap. And for Toba coming up, it's into the butterfly portion of the event after Ava Thompson comes out of the pool.
We've got Alexi Oliver in the butterfly here. 2:20.38. About a 4 and 4.4 second lead here going into the fly. Lexi had a very, very good 50 earlier today. Got her first Western time standard.
Is there a problem on the board? It says Kelsey Fillion's in the pool.
That is a problem because
That's Lexi Oliver, right?
that is Lexi Oliver.
Well, disregard the board, folks. It is Lexi Oliver in the pool right now for Team Manitoba. They finally fixed it. A bit of an error.
There we go. And it looks like we're maintaining about a 4.5 second lead here. Lexi's having a very good swim.
And for Lexi Oliver, she's maintaining the lead here for Manitoba, even growing it seems. And Abigail Teno is having her work cut out for her in the last 25 meters. And for Team Manitoba, looking to bring it home and putting the pressure on Team Sask in this last relay race coming up.
3:25.8. And who do we have now? It might be Kelsey Fillion now with Team Manitoba.
And here we go, coming down the stretch.
An 8-second lead. That is not going to be something they can catch. Madison Hicks, try as she will. That is too much of a gap to overcome.
And it is Kelsey Fillion looking to take it home for this Team Manitoba team. A very strong swim for them so far, and we're going into the lead here. It is Team Manitoba continuing to go. Fillion will be too much for Higgs to handle here, and she was really throughout that whole freestyle 100 meters. And it will be Kelsey Fillion coming home with the win. And Team Manitoba now putting the pressure on Team Sask.
That's right.
And we got the big boys coming up, don't we, here?
Yeah, we'll have to see if the men from Saskatchewan can bring this to a tie. Whether Team Toba this year is going to take the 4-2 win. It all comes down to this. Toba can't do worse than a tie, but they want to win.
Well, all the pressure is definitely on Saskatchewan right now, hey?
100% here. Looks like those boys have been slapping each other around, getting fired up, and here we go.
Good old Thunderstruck from AC/DC playing in the background. A classic before a sporting game happens, and for this is it.
Here we go.
Conclusion of the 2022 Men's Sask Winter Provincial Championships. Ending off with Team Toba and Team Sask in the men's 16 and older category 4x100 meter medley relay. And who do we got starting off here for Team Manitoba and Team Sask?
I'm trying to see who that is. I know it's definitely Carson Baggs on the breaststroke, so look for a very good breaststroke leg for Team Toba here.
Best of the best for the 16 plus category for the boys. The men's, as we'll call it. The big boys coming up here. Heavyweight battle. Heavyweight tilt on tap. There's the whoosh. One final time. It is Braden Stacy in the pool for Team Toba. Matthew Bro in the pool for Team Saskatchewan. Having the lead so far. Right off the bat, it's looking like Matthew Bro slightly with it for Team Saskatchewan. Braden Stacy trying to keep pace, and he is.
This is neck and neck here. Not much separating these two swimmers going into the turn.
And just by a bit, it's Braden Stacy, but not by much.
23/100ths of a second here.
And here we go. coming down. It looks like Stacy has a bit of an advantage, but this is very close. Setting up for what should be, you'd have to think, a close battle here in this final race.
I suspect Manitoba here to break this open a bit. Very, very strong breaststroker here. But
Carson Beggs.
Less than a second separating these two. There we go.
And for Carson Beggs, trying to do what he's done so well, and this is dominating this event. 100 meters only, and he is getting separation on Bryce Tierney now.
Carson Beggs has just added so much power over the last couple of years. It looks like he's been heading the weight room hard. And watch for his second 50. He's always been more of a distance swimmer. Really good in the 200 breaststroke traditionally, so his second 50 here is really going to break this open.
How much of a lead are we looking at right now?
I didn't see the Carson Beggs split come up.
We'll get a better look at it. Of course, it'll come up
here, but we're looking at probably a good 5 seconds here, possibly, going into the fly.
Going into the butterfly now. The next swimmer on the diving platform for Team Manitoba. Into the pool.
580 versus 2:10.72. It is almost exactly 5 seconds.
And that is Gavin Reimer in the pool for Team Manitoba at this point. Sam Wagner in the pool for Team Sask. And look at this. Gavin Reimer has added a lot of distance as well here.
The 5 seconds, I think that might be shrinking here. 2:33.3 versus 2:37.5. He just cut about a second into this lead here.
Sam Wagner looking really good. Trying to cut into the lead, but it's Andre Usen looking
he's gonna have to cut way more than a second into this lead to give his team a chance.
Usen really keeping up strongly here. It's into the final 100 meters for Team Manitoba now. Into the pool.
3:04.97. 3:09.65. So we have a 4.6 second gap here.
For Team Manitoba in the pool right now, they have not updated it yet. Jinbi Lu's in the pool for Team Sask. Manitoba swimmer still not on the board, not updated yet. But they're looking to take it home, and it's looking very promising for Team Manitoba. The bragging rights within the prairies could very well be going to Team Manitoba, and it's looking that way, coming in the last 25 meters for whoever that swimmer is. They have not updated the board. Jaden Belu's in the pool for Team Sask, and the king and queens of the prairies in swimming for now in these relays. Team Manitoba, congratulations.
15-year-old Gavin Reimer, formerly of the Steinbach Skimmers, now swimming for the University of Manitoba Bisons, finishing strong here. Great swim, and Manitoba taking the overall title 4-2. And Team Saskatchewan are going to be counting the days till July, and they'll be looking for some revenge in Regina.
Well, we have a ways away until that happens. This concludes session number 7, the Sunday finals from the 2022 Mansask Winter Provincial Championships. I would love to thank our sponsors, just a few of our sponsors here. In Case Financial Group, Dokes Bulk Fuels, Evolve Green, Tovey Hockey, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, Supplement King, Winkler, as they are just a few of our sponsors that help us bring you these amateur sports events. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in throughout these 4 days, of whoever did, all the great words of support that we got from the viewers, and just liking that we're broadcasting these events. Would love to thank Swim Manitoba for choosing us to broadcast this event as well. Thank you to Team Sask as well for commenting some good knowledge in the comments throughout our platforms during this event, and being supportive of us, and thanking us for doing this event. And just really thank you to you, Bo. I mean, once again, stepping in for the finals. Not last time around we were doing the whole junior provincials when you could have a chance, but having you on for every single finals event was absolutely phenomenal. We'd love to have you on next time as well.
No, absolutely. My pleasure, Graham. It's always fun to come out and talk swimming, and we appreciate all the feedback we got and from the community here, and we're looking forward to hopefully doing this again in 4 months.
And folks, until we see you next time, I've been your play-by-play commentator throughout all 7 sessions from this weekend from the 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships. Graham Forsyth, will we see you again come this time next year? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what the future holds. But for everyone at ASTV Productions, myself, Graham Forsyth, our producer, Cody Wall, and everybody else, we want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a good one, folks. Stay safe out there. And until next time, we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.